The following is a TBS special.
For 20 years, Grant Teaff has shaped the football fortunes of Baylor University. For 8 years, Bill Mallory has done the same at Indiana. This year, both coaches' teams were blessed with outstanding individual talent, as well as youthful leadership and veteran determination. Both teams battled through rugged Big Ten and Southwest Conference schedules, winning games they were not expected to and pushing the nation's best to the limit. Through it all, Baylor and Indiana earned their reputation as fiercely competitive teams. Although not among America's elite, they are darn close. Both have now come to Arizona. There is still one more game to be played. The preparation has been intense. The focus is on winning. A postseason bowl appearance is a goal of all college football teams. Only a few achieve it. For those who do, there are good times as well as a chance to bask in the glory of performances past. As 1991 comes to a close, there will be one more triumph, one more moment of glory. Live from Tucson, Arizona, TBS Sports presents the 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. The Baylor Bears take on the Indiana Hoosiers. It is a beautiful night in Tucson, Arizona, as we welcome you to Arizona Stadium. And on the field, the Baylor Bears take to the turf. And the Indiana Hoosiers. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ron Thulin, welcoming you to Arizona Stadium. Now, 1991 was a season of expectations for both of these football clubs. Baylor's expectations were becoming reality after 5 games into the season. The Bears were a perfect 5-0. They were ranked 7th in the nation. But 2 consecutive losses dropped the Bears out of the Southwest Conference picture. They came back to win their final game against Texas, and they wound up the season at 8-3. For Bill Mallory and Indiana Hoosiers, they felt this was Mallory's best season in 8 years. However, 4 losses to 4 nationally ranked teams, plus a tie to Missouri, left Indiana at 6-4-1, but they are the best 4-loss team in the nation. Joining me this evening, Pat Hayden. And Pat, you look at these 2 ball clubs, and this is obviously not a national championship game, but for 48 seniors on the field tonight, this is indeed a very special football game.
Well, it is special for them because it's like their national championship game. Sure, a few of these players will go on and have long and successful careers in the National Football League, but for a lot of these seniors, this is the last time to play the game they've grown up loving. Some of them started playing this game at age of 6 and 7 in their backyard, their hometowns, and they realize this is the last time around. And so, Ron, because of that, I think what you're going to see is a lot of young men flying around, making some tackles, good special teams, because they want to end on a high note, because this is the game you remember the rest of your life.
You talk about players flying around. We don't lack stars, ladies and gentlemen. The number 2 rusher in the NCAA is here, Vaughn Dunbar of Indiana.
Yeah, you know, what I like about Vaughn Dunbar, this guy is not a flash in the pan. This is a guy who rushed for 1,200 yards a year ago, but didn't waste any time, came back and rushed for almost 1,700 yards this year. Now, the interesting thing about him, I think, is he can do it a lot of different ways. He can go the distance, make guys miss, he'll run over people, and when you need the 60 or 70-yard run, you can get it. That's why Vaughn Dunbar will be the first back drafted in the NFL to come this spring.
Now, the Baylor Bears have a Lombardi finalist and an Outland finalist in Santana Dotson, defensive lineman.
Yeah, this is a guy, if you like defensive linemen who can do it all, you got to like Santana Dotson. He can rush the passer, which he's done a remarkable job of this year. He can stuff the run. He'll run sideline to sideline. He plays hard every down. And the thing about Santana Dotson, he thought about coming out last year as a junior, decided to come back for his senior year, and it's turned out very well for him because he will be a big-time player in the pros as well.
No, on paper, these 2 teams are very evenly matched. They're very competitive. What's the keys?
Well, I think it's very simple, quite honestly, offensively. If Indiana, when Indiana has the ball, you're going to see a lot of Von Dunbar. He averages 31 carries a game. But I really believe the key is their passing game. Trent Green, how well he throws the ball will be key to the Indiana offense. And for Baylor, it's their fullback, Robert Strait. They run a veer. And in the fullback, you have to stop the fullback first. He might carry the ball 100 times tonight and gain 300 yards if you don't stop the fullback first.
Well, 5 of the last 6 years, Indiana has gone to a bowl. This is Baylor's first bowl since the Blue Bonnet Bowl of 1986. And joining us this evening and on the field right now is Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, thank you, Ron. Emotion affects performance in all sports, particularly football. Coaches have different ways to motivate their players to reach maximum potential. For Bill Mallory, it's straightforward, no tricks. Often it comes from within the players. For Grant Teaff, on the other hand, often the element of surprise. Before a big game against Texas, he told his team the key was to keep the worm warm if you want to go ice fishing. He reached in his pocket, got a worm out, put it in his mouth. He says no worms tonight, but he did make sure his team was the visiting team. They're undefeated on the road this year. They also have the smallest locker room. He says they want to keep that road streak going. Ron?
Thank you very much, Craig Sager. We'll be keeping in touch with you on the field throughout the evening. It is a perfect night in Tucson, Arizona. The temperature about 55 degrees. They're expecting it to go down to as low as 40. Humidity 38%. We are playing on grass, and it is a perfect evening. Indiana won the toss in what has become a very common practice in college football. They deferred, so Baylor is going to be receiving, and Scott Bunnell will be kicking it off for the Hoosiers. A little bit of wind. It's swirling on Arizona Field on the stadium right now. Bunnell, a very efficient field goal kicker. Reggie Miller and Kendrick Bell back for Baylor.
I'll tell you what, early on, if you watch the teams come on the field, you have to like Indiana, the way they charged onto that field, and Baylor kind of walked on, and that's what they've been doing the last few weeks. It's the last few games brought them some luck.
Sort of a tradition for Baylor. As you mentioned, Baylor's last bowl was the 1986 Blue Bonnet Bowl, which they defeated South Carolina in that ball game. They do have a 2-game win streak in bowl competition. Indiana, on the other hand, their last 4 bowls, they are 1-3. And we are set for the 3rd annual Domino's Pizza Copper Roll. They decided to bring it out. They took a quick step, and Kendrick Bell says, I'm not going to try it. Smart move, Pat.
Yeah, no, thank you. Absolutely. It was a very smart move. Now he gets the ball on the 20-yard line with plenty of room to do something.
The quarterback for the Baylor Bears, J.J. Joe, and what a season this young man has had. Last year took over because of injuries for Brad Gable and Steve Needham. Came on this year as the starter. Said this summer he really worked extremely hard on his football game and came in and has had a very successful season. Grant Teaff likens him to a point guard. Mims in the backfield. He is the tailback. Strait is the fullback. Baylor will try the left side. Mims finds a little running room, able to bash his way up to the 28-yard line, a pickup of 8. And the rest of the lineup for the Baylor Bears. There is Robert Strait, the big sophomore out of Cuero, Texas. We will keep an eye on this young man. That is the key to Baylor's attack. Keep running that fullback inside. And the offensive line, David Leaks, he is starting at that right guard position. This gentleman is huge. He is replacing Monty Jones, who is suspended from the football team prior to the Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. There's Strait. He's able to get the first down. Bowls his way up to the 31. And the defense for the Hoosiers of Indiana this evening. And it is a feisty one. No big stars on this defense, but they get after you. Beauchamp, McDaniel, McCormick, and Farrell. They're the 4 men up front in Iowa's 4-3 defense. The linebackers, Mark Hagan, the senior out of Indiana. He is a very astute player, makes his way around the field, and he wants to have a good game as final. Richardson, Middleton, Summerall, and Damon Watts, the true freshman in the secondary. In motion. Jones first pass. It is complete the far side and able to go up to the 42 yards on Alonzo Pierce, the 6'1 senior out of Houston Yates.
Well, if you are J.J. Joe, this opening drive has gone exactly the way you want to start off a bowl game. Remember, they haven't played for a few weeks, so you want to get back into rhythm, into momentum. He's run the tailback once a wide outside. He's run the fullback inside Robert Strait to pick up a first down. And all 3 plays, Alonzo Pierce, the tight end, has lined up in the backfield and gone in motion. That time went to the right flat and was wide open for a good throw by J.J. Joe.
It's a 2-back set now for the Bears. First and 10, pickup of 12 on that play. Joe, a short drop. He'll hit it out to the flat. Incomplete this time. Pass intended for Reggie Miller.
Well, interesting what Baylor has done on the last 2 passes, quite honestly, is throw outside routes. Now, you mentioned that Indiana went to a 4-3 defense, and obviously with that you have 1 fewer inside linebacker. If a 4-3 defense can be vulnerable in a game like this, is to the outside routes, the soft spots with the corners. The corners are playing off these Baylor receivers. They play an inside technique, and the out pattern should be open for Baylor this evening.
And this might have helped Leaks a little bit, as Monty Jones started 42 games in 4 years, is suspended. This may take a little pressure off him, the type of offense they're running now. Passing the ball is J.J. really throws that one on a rope just behind the intended receiver, Melvin Bonner.
You know, I think J.J. Joe is kind of indicative of what college football to me is about. Here's a guy that has overcome an awful lot of adversity. J.J. Joe came to Baylor, and a little over a year ago, he was the 4th-team quarterback. And admittedly, just the other day, he said, hey, I didn't think I was ever going to get a chance to play quarterback at Baylor. Kind of hung in there. Would have been easy to quit. He didn't. Worked his way up and had a very solid season this year for Baylor.
3rd down and 10 for the Baylor Bears. 13:44 remaining in the first quarter. Mims goes in motion on the right side. Joe, the 7-step drop, throws it into the flat. Not able to get the first down. Pierce picks up about 8 on the play. That'll bring up a 4th down situation for the Bears, and that'll be our first punt of the ball game.
Yeah, well, and maybe it's the first punt. Remember in bowl games, I think you see more fake punts, fake field goals, reverses, those kinds of things in bowl games than you do in the regular season, because coaches have a tendency to let things hang out, and they don't seem to play it's quite as close to the vest in bowl games as they do during the regular season.
Ken Bretham back to punt. We've got a loose ball on the ground. Baylor picks it up, and it'll be dropped for the loss, and Indiana will get possession. 1st and 10 from Baylor's 39-yard line.
Man. Well, Grant Taft said yesterday that he was concerned about his special teams. They have not performed well all year long, particularly their kicking game. The field goal team, the punt team, perfect snap.
Oh, yeah.
There's absolutely no argument about where the snap was.
Larry McDaniel was the one who was wrapping Brentham up right into his hands. So Indiana goes on offense. Trent Green will be calling the signals. And the man to watch is in the tailback position, Vaughn Dunbar. The fullback has not carried the ball at all as Trent Green fakes to Dunbar, rolls out, and his first pass is incomplete.
Well, Trent Green is another guy, I think, Ron, who hung in there. You know, was benched a year ago for 4 games at Indiana. The backup quarterback, Chris Dyer, played, and he learned. He said he learned a lot. And last year's bowl game against Auburn is when he really blossomed. He came off the field. He became a team leader in that bowl game last year. It carried over into this season.
Vaughn Dunbar says Trent Green, his improvement has made his improvement even more. Baylor showing a little bit of blitz. Dunbar picks up about 2 as he tries the left side. Let's take a look at Indiana's backfield and who will line up for them offensively. First of all, Vaughn Dunbar wearing number 26. The fullback, Todd Walker, you'll mainly see him catch passes. He doesn't carry the ball. In fact, he hasn't carried it this year. And the big line for the Hoosiers of Indiana. Randy Schneider is the key because he will be really putting up against Santana Dotson a lot of the times. And also Robin Jones, the left end. 2nd and 10 for Indiana. 3rd and 10 for Indiana. Green's pass almost intercepted, and they're going to call it a completion. They're going to check. No, incomplete.
I think that ball may have been tipped. That ball may have been tipped.
I think Brian Hand may have gotten a hand on it.
Yeah, and Eddie Thomas, who had run the route on the left side, was open. Hand, who played strong safety, now an outside linebacker, did indeed get his hand. He's a kind of a rangy guy at 6'4", is Brian Hand, number 47 for Baylor. He did get the paw up, and that's good defense by the outside linebacker.
Fourth down and 8. DeJulio for Indiana, and he's going to boot a high one. That'll probably make its way into the end zone. He had the win with him. A 37-yard punt for DeJulio, and Baylor will take over on their 20. We've got 12:05 remaining in the first quarter, and we are scoreless from the Copper Bowl.
The 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home. And by Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide. And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
What better way to start 1992 than to tell you about Domino's great new two-pizza deal? It's Domino's double-up deal. 2 medium pizzas each with 1 topping, just $10.99. $10.99?
$10.99.
Domino's makes your pizzas fresh when you call and gets them there in 30 minutes or less. So if you want a lot of great pizza for a little price for you and your whole family, nobody knows like Domino's how you like our double-up deal for just $10.99. How did he do that?
The smoothest dude I know is a smooth operator. Everyone else is just an imitator. My man has great taste through and through. He knows a quality brew, and I do too. Schlitz malt liquor bull. Yeah, he's brave like a gladiator, smoking like a radiator, chill like a refrigerator, warm a lady's heart like an incubator. Nobody does it like a smooth operator. No one does it like the bull. Word, Schlitz malt liquor bull.
12:05 remaining in the first round. Thulin, Pat Hayden, and Craig Sager from Arizona Stadium in the Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. Still haven't seen the fullback like we thought in that first series.
They lied again.
Exactly. Jones, 3-step drop. Once again, he tries to... Oh, that was an easy 6 points for the Hoosiers of Indiana. Middleton had his hands right on it. Nothing but daylight for 18 yards.
Yeah, but that's how you end up with a 6-4-1 season. Though these kind of plays, watch how he's watching the quarterback the whole way. And again, he plays the boundary. Middleton, the corner, plays the boundary, the short side of the field, read the pattern the entire way. Now, in the earlier series, they tried to throw the out on him. He was wide open. That time, he played it a lot tighter and should have had the interception for the touch.
Joe on the option, goes upstairs again. Incomplete, bringing up a 3rd down and 10. Bonner could not get his hand on a pass thrown behind him.
Very much surprised with Baylor's opening sequence of plays in really both these drives. I mean, we talked to them all week. We've talked about their veer offense. Robert Strait is their key runner. Grant Taft, even before the game, felt that Robert Strait was still the key guy tonight, but they've come out throwing. They saw some soft corners early in the first drive by Indiana. Indiana's defensive coordinator, Joe Novak, has adjusted. He's rolled his corners up, and it's not so soft outside anymore.
Second straight 3rd and 10 for the Bears. They set a school record of 5.6 yards a snap. They're not getting that tonight. Obviously, the strategy for Baylor is hit the flats. Every pass has been on the side.
Well, good coverage by John Miller, number 40 of Indiana. Boy, there's a guy, a converted quarterback and defensive back. Now he's an outside linebacker. Not necessarily good at the point of attack as an outside linebacker, but a great chaser. Has been a great chaser all year long for Indiana.
McGowan is back for Indiana. Kent Brentham, the senior out of Belton, Texas. Let's see if he hangs on to this one. Here they come. He gets the punt away. No flag. Off the right side of his foot. Ooh, almost dropped by McGowan, but Indiana will take over 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. 33-yard punt by Brentham. 11:45 remaining in the first. Still nobody scored.
Smooth operator is together naturally. He knows Schlitz malt liquor means quality. Everybody checks him out when he's on the scene. He's got quality taste, you know what I mean. The quality alone is not the groove. Along with it, he's got mellow and smooth. A deaf combo, the originator, is known to all as smooth operator. But when you're after the best, don't settle for less. No one does it like a smooth operator. No one does it like the bull. Schlitz malt liquor bull.
Christmas, marked by Santas, holly, and the welcome presence of Alka-Seltzer. Fast relief of heartburn with headache, accompanied by jingling bellies. Alka-Seltzer, the other holiday tradition.
The race is on to make batteries that last longer. And today's Duracell batteries can even outrun the ones we made just a few years ago. Today's Duracell, you can't top the copper top.
Well, if you don't think these guys are intense tonight, how about Alonzo Pierce? A little extracurricular activity after the play, Pat.
Yeah, he and John Miller get into it. And again, it kind of shows you what bowl games mean. And we talked about seniors. John Miller, number 40, he is a senior. Pierce is a senior. Perhaps the last football game they ever play. And that's what we expected. Guys flying around and taking some pretty good shots at one another.
Indiana said they need to pass the ball in order to win this game. Trying to set up a screen. Trent Green tries to scramble, and he is hit hard, and he will be dropped at the 45-yard line by Brian Hand. A loss of 2 on the play.
Well, that's twice now. Brian Hand has done a nice job for Baylor on defense. Now watch 47 in the right of your screen. First, a good pass rush. Dotson, number 77, it was supposed to be a screen pass. Really, I think Dotson got in there way too quick. The guard should have held him up. But it was Brian Hand who earlier knocked the pass down. And now gets the tackle on Trent Green.
And we also had a penalty on the play.
We have offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty. It will be 1st and 5.
So move the ball up 5 more yards for Indiana.
You know, but
talk about their field position too, Pat. Indiana said started the Baylor 39, the 47. Now they're across the 50 again.
But there on that screenplay too, Ron, you got a first look at Santana Dotson, the guy who many people feel is one of the top defensive linemen in all of college football, number 77 right there on Baylor. And as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, what he does is play hard every down. He'll play sideline to sideline. He really will be a defensive end in the pros. He's playing defensive tackle for Baylor.
Just a one-back set for Indiana. It is Dunbar, and he will come on the draw. Trying to stretch it outside. Baylor does a good job defensively as Dunbar bulls his way down to the 44-yard line. Once again, Brian Hand in on the tackle, along with Albert Fontenot, number 96.
You know, watch Von Dunbar enough, and he can make a lot out of a very little. And I think it's always a sign of a good running back. That play designed to go inside, absolutely nothing there. Now, a lot of guys will dance or they'll try to run too wide, but he knew exactly the kind of angle that he needed to take, used his burst of speed to pick up the yards.
Indiana playing with Rod Carey at the center position instead of Jason Mack, a suspension for Indiana. Dunbar met hard at the line of scrimmage. Maybe picks up about a half a yard on the play. You expect Santana Dotson to be double teamed a lot.
Well, you're right. The last 2 plays, number 77 has been. And watch, this is what he's going to see of a lot tonight. He's seen a lot all season. Now, when that happens, what he does is tie up 3 jerseys there, 3 red jerseys, and that's a good job. He didn't give up too much ground. He ties up 3 jerseys, and the linebackers should make a lot of tackles if they're spending 2 and 3 guys on Dotson.
Well, we're going to have to measure it, see if Von Dunbar was able to get the first down, as Hafford was the one who wrapped up Dunbar. Ooh, that's close. And it is a first down for Indiana on the Baylor 43-yard line. Indiana's offense, this is the 5th consecutive year they've had a 1,000-yard rusher. Of course, Anthony Thompson was the big rusher prior to Von Dunbar, and Dunbar has a chance to break one of his records. Only needs 95 yards to break Thompson's 1989 single rushing record of over 1,700 yards. This time they fake to Dunbar. Pass is complete. Another first down to Indiana. Eddie Thomas. Pickup of 12.
Ron, this has been a solid Indiana team that Bill Mallory has. This is their strengths of this football team. Very balanced offensive and defensive team. You see where they ranked nationally. They played a very difficult road schedule. Bill Mallory did. Lost 4 tough games on the road. Michigan, I guess Iowa, Notre Dame to open the season. They had a tough go, and he's looking for that breakthrough win. He thinks he can have it with next year's team against a team like Michigan.
Baylor was 2nd in Big Ten passing offense, was last in 1990. Green on the option, the high pitch to Dunbar. Down to the 23-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play.
Well, you know, again, all evening long, it's going to be an interesting watching Santana Dotson, number 77. 4th play in a row. That time he gets blown off by Troy Newton, number 60, who did a good job, but he didn't quit. You know, he's got 2 guys blocking him, and yet the tackle was made 6 or 7 yards downfield, but no quit so far in Santana Dotson.
2nd and 3, 9-10. Left for first. Dunbar picks up the first down, looking for pay dirt as he hits the 12-yard line. A pickup of 12 for Vaughn Dunbar. So he's going to reach that 95 quick. He keeps going. Here's Dunbar coming right at us.
Yeah, you try to tackle him. He's awfully tough to do. Believe me, awfully tough to tackle. And Vaughn Dunbar can run through you when he has to, and he's got the speed to run around you. And you saw his quick look out. He was trying to pick up the block of his wide receiver. I mean, he's got those great eyes, as all good running backs do, looking for a downfield block by his wide receiver.
And you can't see his eyes with the visor on. He wears the visors. Doesn't like to get the fingers poked in the eye. Dunbar again tries to get outside, and he's going to be swarmed over by LaShawn Matson, the linebacker on the left side.
You know, Vaughn Dunbar, as we said, 31 carries a game, and you're right, he was poked in preseason practice in the eye, and that's why he wears the eye shade. Now has become accustomed to it. But you've watched enough good running backs, guys like Vaughn Dunbar, and as the game goes along, he gets most of his yardage in the second half, because he gets stronger and stronger on those 31 carries during the course of the game.
Keep an eye on Rod Coleman, the tight end. 2nd and 8. Green buried at about the 7-yard line.
Well, you know, interesting, Trent Green this year, Ron, inside the 20-yard line, has had a very efficient kind of year. 11 rushing touchdowns for Trent Green. And we were talking about that yesterday. They like running option plays inside the 10. The option play is still the best play in football because it's difficult to account for everybody. In goal line defense, you want to be aggressive, but the option offense forces you to play disciplined and non-aggressive football.
3rd and 5. Indiana has had problems inside the 20, punching it all the way in. And Dunbar, does he get in? He is down at about the 1-foot line, say the officials. And this is something that Trent Green talked to us about last night. Bill Mallory, 20-20, they're an excellent football team, but inside the 20, they've been having trouble punching it in.
You know, not when you're getting blocking like this. Again, Dotson, double teamed again. Randy Snyder, the right tackle, I think just buried Dotson that time. And Vaughn Dunbar just feels the soft spot, has a great feel, runs through 2 tacklers. He's got speed, as we said, to outrun you, and then he'll put his shoulder down and run right over you.
Walker blocking for Dunbar. Who do you think's going to get the ball? Green on the sneak. Touchdown, Indiana.
Well, that's how you score 12 touchdowns. He must date the head cheerleader or something. He scores all the touchdowns inside the 1. You know, everybody gets it down there. He scores from the 1.
11 touchdowns on the regular season, 1 here tonight, and Bill Mallory's troops take a 6-0 lead with 7:09 remaining in the first.
And that was a nice drive set up by some very good defense. Remember, they played on a short field. The Indiana defense set up that touchdown run by Trent Green.
53 yards and 9 plays, just about 4.5 minutes it took. Bunnell for the extra point. And it is good. 7:09 remaining to be played in the first quarter, and Indiana strikes first. 7-0 is our score. We'll be back.
New Year's Day, TBS presents the All-Day Movie Bowl with 5 funny flicks.
That's my cue.
Jerry Lewis in Cinderfella, an all-star team.
Oh, I think I'm looking there.
In Scavenger Hunt, Don Knotts.
Don't panic. You're in no real personal danger.
The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. Dennis Quaid, Ringo Starr, and Shelley Long in Caveman. And Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi as the Blues Brothers.
Hit it.
The TBS All-Day Movie Bowl. Beginning at 10 Eastern, New Year's Day.
That's life. That's life. That's what people say.
Life can be maddening, goofy, or downright fun, but it's never predictable. Aflac helps your family be prepared for the unpredictable. We're the expert in supplemental insurance. Our agents work to help close the gaps in your health insurance. Gaps like deductibles and co-payments. Nobody closes those gaps better than Aflac.
'Cause this old world,
Life supplies the surprises.
keeps going around.
Aflac supplies the peace of mind.
7-0 is our score. 7:09 remaining to be played in the first quarter as Indiana put together an impressive scoring drive, going 53 yards in 9 plays, 436. Not a bad 32 yards for Vaughn Dunbar.
Yeah, but you notice who scored the touchdown?
That's
the old
right.
quarterback.
That's right. You send the girl roses and the other guy takes her home.
And that always seemed to happen. Say, I've been impressed. It's the first time I have seen Dunbar live this year, and he is everything that I had heard, quite honest. He's got speed. He's got toughness. He catches the ball. He has 28 catches on the year. And you can see why people are awfully excited about his future after this game. But as we talk, really, this game is not necessarily about guys like Von Dunbar. It's the guys who will never play again. And there's, well, 48 seniors playing tonight.
See Kendrick Bell and Reggie Miller back for the Baylor Bears. Bell will kick it off. Well, Santana Dotson told us, he says, listen, I know this is my last game for Baylor and I want to make an impression, but I know there are a lot of people maybe watching this game and I want my draft to go up a little bit higher. Vannella's short kick. It'll come down to Kendrick Bell on about the 4. Bell spins away, hit hard at about the 19-yard line. No penalty. Some of the Baylor players wanted a late hit, 17-yard return. Let's go down to Craig Sager as Baylor seems to have changed their offensive game plan, Craig.
Well, thank you, Ron. In the first 2 possessions, we saw Baylor throw the ball repeatedly to the outside. What that has done is forced Indiana to spread their defense the entire width of the field. Look for Baylor in this possession to run the veer to the inside and also look for a big gain possibly on the play-action pass.
Big plays have been very much a part of the Baylor offense. 3rd time starting on the 20-yard line. Now, Grant Taft told us they're going to stick with their game plan and just keep pounding to see what Indiana does.
Absolutely. Here it comes.
Straight right up the middle, up to the 25. A pickup of 5 on the play.
Robert Strait, the #1 recruit out of the state of Texas, and any of you who know about Texas high school football, that is saying something. In 1989, could have gone anywhere, came to Baylor because he wanted to be a great tailback and running back. They moved him to a fullback, and he was disappointed with that for a while. But in a veer offense, the fullback is really a misnomer because you're not primarily a blocker. You still run the ball an awful lot in the veer.
The 6'1", 240-pound. He's a big one out of Cuero, Texas. They'll give it to him again. He breaks the tackle up over the 40 to the 45 and finally run out of bounds. Robert Strait, who came off arthroscopic knee surgery back in October, picks up a big gainer as Hagan finally runs him out of bounds. A pickup of 21.
Yeah, watch the left guard, John Turnbaugh, right here, step down here. This man comes out. He's going to option it, so the fullback comes right in there off the tackle who steps outside. The left guard, again, Turnbaugh steps down in the nose guard. The left tackle comes down. It's number 75, Arroyo. Just a gaping hole in there, and that's what the problem the veer can present. He'll come back and option it, too.
Try it again. This time no place to go. Straight picks up about 1. You talk about Turnbaugh, 304 pounds for Turnbaugh. John Miller comes up with a tackle. Straight, we talked about, he had scoped his knee on October 1st, came back just in 11 days. He only missed 1 game, had 115 yards against Rice, but then he injured his ankle against A&M.
Yeah, it didn't go well for him. And again, talking to him this morning, I was impressed because it would have been very easy for a guy like that to quit. A high school, you know, everything in the state of Texas, but he hung in there, played through some adversity, and now he's getting his due.
Pierce goes in motion. Joe on the option. Excellent defense by Indiana as Joe tries to reach over to get to the 50-yard line. Mark Hagan again on the tackle, number 47. Brings up a 3rd and 6 play.
Well, you're seeing the second option in the veer. The first one we've seen with Robert Strait, the fullback. Now, when the defensive tackler steps inside to take away the fullback, J.J. Joe will keep the ball, and he'll either pitch it or keep it. Now, that was a good decision by J.J. Joe there. He didn't gain much yards, but the pitch man was taken, and just get out of it with a minimal loss, which he did there, and set yourself up for 3rd down.
Baylor 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversion so far this evening. 1 setback, 3 wide receivers to the right. Joe throws to the left of the tight end to Pierce. He finds his way up to the 40, down to the 37-yard line. Alonzo Pierce out of Houston Yates. Mike Middleton on the tackle. A pickup of 13.
You know, Grant Taft was saying about Pierce this week that he's probably the best athlete on our team. And we ask our tight end to do a lot. He said he catches screens like this. He'll catch the ball over the middle. He'll block at the point of attack. And he can get downfield. He's a good option route runner as well as Alonzo Pierce. And we saw him catch his 2nd pass of the evening, and he's been very good blocking at the point of attack thus far tonight.
Pierce on the year only had 10 receptions. His longest was 34 against Texas Christian. Joe looks for the big play. Oh, incomplete to Lee Miles. I think he may have jumped too soon.
Yeah, it looked like Lee Miles slipped a little bit on the natural grass. The grass here, they haven't played. Baylor has not played on grass since, I think, the 2nd game of a year ago when they played at Arizona State. And everybody in the Southwest Conference plays on turf.
Okay. That one. Well, Pete, what happened now, the first play?
It was all zone. The first option was all zone.
They got it kicked. He got pushed.
Oh, that's good sound inside as we go back to live action. Joe Mims on the handoff up to about the 39-yard line. Let's go back into the huddle and see exactly what goes on the Baylor sideline. 3rd and 12.
He was running, but he was late. Okay. Hey, now, hey, still now, Frankie, like we were. Ferris, you're gonna have you get pushed by the tight end. Now string it, okay? Just the same way we worked. Tight end down, take the quarterback. All right.
Just make sure that when they get that
well, that is Scott Smith, the defensive back coach. He was talking to Ferris Walker, who is one of his corners, about as soon as you see that tight end block down, you've got to take the option man.
Joe back to pass again. It is complete to David Mills, who slips a tackle. Gets up to about the 27-yard line. It may not be enough for the first down. It's going to be close. It probably will make a pickup of about 13.
You know, Ron, you said something interesting, slipping a tackle. And I was talking to Grant Taff about David Mims this week. He said, you know, the thing about Mims is he always seems to make the first guy miss. And you see a clear shot there by the linebacker who had a shot at him, but he made him miss. And some guys just have the ability, when a defender's close to them, to be able to make some sort of move and make people miss. David Mims can do that for Baylor.
Here's in motion. Joe straight up the middle to straight. Farrell on the tackle. Pick up of about 3. 3:17 remaining in the first. Indiana leads at 7-0.
You know, this Indiana defensive team has really not seen much option. I guess at the end of the year they played a little bit of option in the second half against Purdue, but they certainly have not seen a veer team, and quite honestly, they've done a reasonably good job thus far tonight. Bill Mallory, a very solid program he has developed here at Indiana.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Ball just inside the 24-yard line of Indiana. Miles in motion. Baylor continues pounding it up the middle, and that was their game plan coming in, as Straight is hit by Troy Mason.
Well, what you look for in a veer fullback is just what Grant Taff has in Robert Straight. You know, he goes 245 pounds, and he doesn't take a long time to get started. But this has been a very balanced team thus far tonight for Baylor.
And you speak of balance, that is about as balanced as you can get. 3rd down and 4. Ball on the 20. 2:10 remaining in the first.
Oh, the post pattern's open.
Pearson motion. Joe is hit behind the line of scrimmage by Farrell, and that is a loss of 3 on the play. You talk about the post pattern being open, Pat.
You know, yeah, and Baylor has had an awful lot of big plays to Melvin Bonner here. You see all this area right in here. This is the post pattern. Now, this is the free safety. He's coming up here. This wide receiver has this entire area to run a play. Now, Bonner has had a very big year on that one route. That's all he's run is the post pattern, and he's caught 6 touchdowns. So I would expect to see Baylor on their next drive to come back with a post play.
A 38-yard field goal for Jeff Ireland. And this is something Grant Taff was concerned about, his kicking. Ireland only 11 of 25, and there is the fake. Going deep in the end zone. Incomplete. Kent Bretham on the pass. Intended for Ireland. He had him open.
Well, you know, we said at the beginning of the first quarter, bowl games are for fake field goals, fake punts, punt blocks. He had his hole to Brentham wide open. Now, Grant Taff said this week that I'm determined to call this fake field goal. It should have been an easy score.
But it wasn't. 1:15 remaining in the first. Indiana 7, Baylor nothing from the Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. We'll be back.
This year in Lake Edna, the best place to watch the big game was Al's Discount TV and Appliance Emporium. Knowing a good deal, Al got some KFC Super Buckets. He got 15-piece buckets, variety buckets with 3 kinds of chicken, and jumbo buckets of 36 hot wings, just $9.99 each. Everyone went home happy, especially Clara Campbell, who bought a juicer at halftime. New KFC Super Buckets, just $9.99. A great deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't don't forget, just one dose of Pepto-Bismol can help make yours a happy new year.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus. So now you can relieve your cold and cough together. Introducing Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough Medicine. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
7-0 is our score. 1:15 remaining in the first quarter. We'd like to remind you, coming up on TBS, the Phoenix Suns, the red-hot Phoenix Suns, travel to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Hawks. Join Skip Carey, Dick Versace, Thursday, 7:35 Eastern Time for all the action. Green back to pass. Goes to his second choice, goes to his third choice, and then is hit from behind by Matthew Pearson, number 48.
Well, yeah, Matthew Pearson is one of 6 or 7 defensive linemen that Baylor will roll into the ball game. You know, most schools can't even run a 4-3 because they can't find 4 good defensive linemen. Baylor has 6 or 7 of them, and Matthew Pearson is one of those. A former linebacker. They moved him down to a defensive end. He still has the quickness, remembers how to run as a linebacker, even though he's put on some weight, and you saw the results there.
2nd down and 16, nearing the 32nd mark of the first. Oh, that'll be an offsides call against Baylor. The play continues, and Dunbar will be snowed under at the 15. He might as well put on a red jersey.
Yeah, I think that was our man.
Just a touch.
Pearson.
Pearson got a little over anxious.
Now, I'm surprised, though, that Von Dunbar stopped because he had a free play. And he did stop, and I think everybody kind of froze there. You'll watch at the top of the, or actually in the middle of the screen, that is Pearson. Dunbar had an opportunity, I think, to pick up a lot more than the 5 yards.
2nd down.
So with 28 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter, with Indiana leading 7-0, it'll be 2nd down and 11 with the ball sitting squarely on the 20. One running back. It is Dunbar, and he'll get the ball on the left side. Baylor strings the play out to the 23-yard line. Santana Dotson making the initial hit. He's got some great lateral movement.
Yeah, he does.
He goes right down the line.
And again, remember, Dotson is the guy who's been double-teamed virtually every play. But no quitting the man.
And that'll wrap up the first quarter of play from beautiful Tucson, Arizona. We have played quarter number 1. Indiana leads it 7-0.
The 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl is brought to you by Extra Strength Tylenol Gel Caps. For everyday pain, nothing works better. And by Siemens. For leading edge technologies, depend on Siemens precision thinking.
On the 3rd Sunday in August, this place turns from a hard-working ranch town into a hard-riding rodeo town. And folks like us take it on the chin, in our bags, and about everywhere else. That's why most of us here rely on Tylenol. With all the choices Doc Hall has, he gives us the same thing he takes himself.
From small-town doctors to big city hospitals, Tylenol's the pain reliever America counts on.
Hang on, Doc!
It's the one hospitals use most.
With the Catalina Mountains in the distance, a beautiful night in Tucson, and Indiana leads after quarter number 1, 7-0. Baylor controlled the tempo in the first quarter, 8 minutes to 6:48 for Indiana, but Indiana has the points. Green back to pass. Here comes the rush. And that is the 2nd sack of the evening for the Baylor Bears. Pearson again.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing when you change guys from linebackers to defensive end. The University of Miami has been doing this for years. Is guys, even though they put on another 20 pounds, they always still have the fluidity of a linebacker. And as I said, University of Miami has had great success doing that. Grant Taff has had success doing that at Baylor.
Jim DiGiulio back to kick. Averaged just over 35 during the regular season. Frankie Smith gets it on about the 34. Shaking and baking his way up to the 45-yard line. Baylor takes over. 50-yard punt, a 10-yard return. 14-17 left in the first. Indiana leads at 7-0.
There's something special about driving a Daihatsu from Japan. Whether it's the reliability, high mileage, and comfort of our affordable Daihatsu Charades, or the versatile performance of our rocky wide-track 4x4 with the widest track in its class, you'll feel like the whole town is going to light up and really take notice. It's how we make them. Daihatsu.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus to relieve your cold and cough at the same time. New Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine in the purple box. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
Thursday night, the Suns come into Atlanta red hot, but Chambers and company have to deal with some hungry Hawks. The Suns and the Hawks, live at 7:35 Eastern Thursday night on TBS.
Well, Indiana very pleased with their defense so far. However, when Baylor is in a passing situation, they go to what's called a nickel 2. Lance Brown, number 25, a very integral part of that defense. He twisted his knee on the last series. He's out for the game. Ron?
I'll put some pressure on Damon Watts, the other free safety for Indiana, as they lead 7-0. 14-17 left to be played in the first half.
Don't fall off that stool up here now.
Tell you
Ron,
what, the first time I sat down, I almost broke my back.
Bad start of the year for you.
Pierce right behind Joe, and he goes in motion. Pitch back to Mims. What a way to find the hole opening. Crosses the 40 down to the 38 to the 36-yard line.
I'll tell you, that's a nice run by David Mims, but he got some great blocks by his wide receivers, including number 80, Steve Stutzman. Watch as you see Mims. This is how they started the game, with the same play. The pitch off the left side. Picks up a good block by Arroyo, the left tackle. Now watch the wide receivers coming. There's the tight end, 88 Pierce, the wide receiver Stutzman, number 80. If your wide receivers block like that, you can turn those little 5-yard gains into 10 or 15.
It was good personal effort by Mims. Baylor tries the middle again on 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. It is John Henry in for Robert Strait.
You know, David Leaks, number 69, the sophomore for Baylor, playing in the right guard position for Monty Jones, who was suspended for the game by Grant Taft for breaking the team rules. He has done a very nice job thus far in this game.
He should play left mountain though for him.
Yeah, there was a rumor he cut himself shaving last night and bled sausage gravy.
Joe pump fakes, and he is going to be dropped. His first sack of the game, as Beauchamp and McDaniel are there to meet J.J. Joe. A loss of 2 on the play.
Again, good penetrating defense here. You see how quickly they get off on the ball? I think it was 97 McDaniel who got off right at the right time, right when the ball was snapped. A perfect time. Beauchamp is there to clean it up, but it was really Larry McDaniel, number 97, who got off the ball quickly and caused the problem.
That brings up a 3rd down and 12 as we near the 13-minute mark of the second quarter. You talk about leaks. Grant Taft had the greatest line. He goes, I know that old boy's going to have his eyes are going to be glazed over. His mouth's going to be dry. This is his first start.
Yeah, but, you know, he's settled in now.
He has settled in. You get that first lick, you're ready to go. Single setback. Baylor takes to the air again. J.J. Joe throws it onto the Indiana bench.
Well, you know, this has been very uncharacteristic of Baylor, what we're seeing here tonight. They have been, I believe, in 3 third and long, very long situations. And when you're running a Veer team, you expect to be 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. But the Indiana defense has taken that first option away. That's the fullback, Robert Strait. So Bill Mallory's defense has done a very nice job.
J.J. Joe just 4 of 11 tonight, and on the year he completed better than 50% of his passes. As Ken Brentham, number 9, back to punt for Baylor. Scott McGowan, the single back to receive. Brentham tries to pooch kick
it in the end zone.
And he does. Finds the red Indiana. 38-yard punt with the win, and Indiana will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 20, 12:39 remaining in the first half.
Can't punt those into the end zone. I mean, you just give up 10, 15, 20 yards. Huh? If you're going to pooch it down the middle, you have to punt it very, very high to give your special teams a chance to get behind it. Beauchamp, you don't think some number 95 right there, yeah.
Second team all Big Ten, takes a big hit there.
Yeah, there's some guys flying around, though. Just what we expected in a game. Yeah, no national championships at stake, but an awful lot of pride.
Indiana calls their first time out of the ball game. 12:39 remaining in the first half. Indiana on top by a touchdown.
Okay. The 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl is brought to you by Schlitz Malt Liquor. No one does it like the Bull. And by today's Duracell, the Copper Top Battery.
Napoleon, what was your hand in the jacket? People are talking.
Josephine, my briefs are killing me.
Oh, I have just the thing.
Fruit of the loom.
Totally comfortable.
Hey, c'est magnifique, eh?
How about that waistband?
It's super comfortable, mais oui.
And that soft pre-shrunk cotton?
Feels great, down to the skin.
Ooh la la.
For classic comfort, pick Fruit of the Loom briefs.
No, leave the hat on.
Guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Walt Smith was wrong, because when Muskrat Mike discovered gold, it got somewhat better. And when the Swedish bikini team came downstream, it got a little better. And when reinforcements of Old Milwaukee arrived, it most certainly got better. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It just doesn't get any better than this.
There's the time remaining in the first quarter. Indiana wanted to keep their patterns early for Trent Green, easy early, in order to open things up, and it also helps him. And there's an easy pattern, and he doesn't complete it as he was looking for Rod Coleman, the tight end.
Yeah, he just took too much off it. That happens with quarterbacks sometimes when you have a guy that wide open as he did right there, and he was wide open, the tight end Coleman. You try to make it an easy ball to catch. You're going to float it in there. 10 yards short, right in the dirt.
Bill Mallory, originally from Sandusky, Ohio, coached at Miami of Ohio. Of course, that is the cradle of college coaches. How about total yards? 95 to 39. Dunbar, the only setback. And he gets the ball, and he is going to get hard right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, the thing about Bill Mallory, I think he has really stood the test of time. You think about 35 years in college football as a player and a coach, 28 winning seasons. Came into Indiana in his first year in 1884, did not win a game, went 0-11. But 5 bowl games for Bill Mallory the last 6 years. Now, he has done a great job. And what he said is, how we're going to win a Big Ten championship, I got to get my players to believe. And I have good enough players to do it. We need a breakthrough win. And next year, the team like Michigan. We need to beat a team like Michigan.
3rd and 8. Indiana was in the top 2 in the Big Ten in third down conversions with Ohio State. Green over the middle. He has a man open. It is complete to Thomas for a first down, Indiana, on their own 48-yard line, a pickup of 26.
Trent Green has done a very good job this year of spreading the ball around, and Eddie Thomas has been his leading receiver. 50 catches on the year. This is a frozen rope. That is a doggone good throw to a receiver who was pretty well covered by Lachey Matson, number 7, the outside linebacker, but he hung in there in the pocket with some patience and just drilled the ball right down the middle, and Eddie Thomas goes up top to make the catch.
Make that more interesting. Eddie Thomas, you said he led him with 50 catches. He started only 4 ball games. Here's Dunbar, skips off the right side, barrels his way up for about 10-yard lines, maybe 10 yards, just short of the first down. Picks up about 9.5 with Shane Matson there for the stop.
Interesting thing about watching Von Dunbar, and you look at guys like Emmitt Smith in the pros, and Bobby Humphrey reminds me a little bit of him, is when guys get close to him, even when lots of guys can make moves when they're out in the open field, but he is making moves and making people miss when they're right next to him, and that is a very difficult thing to do.
Boy, this is a big play for Indiana. 2nd and 1. You have so many different options for them when you have Dunbar in the backfield. They're going to go to the air. Green looking for pay dirt. It is incomplete, intended for Thomas Lewis.
Had him, and Trent Green knows it, and he didn't get enough air on the ball. Kind of threw one of those liners, but
he's throwing into the wind too at that point. And
well, you're right.
Kind of a good breeze down there right now.
You're right. And Thomas Lewis, number 8, has added the deep threat to this Indiana offense this year. Just kind of tripped it.
Just turned
around.
around.
A chance, yeah.
That brings up a 3rd down and 1 for Indiana with 10:51 on the clock. Indiana 2 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. Green barks out the signals, hands off to Dunbar. Quick shot right up the middle. Is Shane Matson there for the tackle? Boy, but not before Dunbar. Boy, that quick hit gets the 1st down.
But did he get a good lead block?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you say Von Dunbar picked up the 1st down, but the fullback there, I think it was Todd Walker. Boy, did he put a shoulder on somebody. The inside linebacker, I think, was Hafford of Baylor to create the hole for Dunbar to run through.
There's the time remaining and our score in the ball game. I think Indiana had to know they had something good when the first time Von Dunbar touched the ball in an Indiana uniform. He went 80 yards for a touchdown. Green rolling out to his left. Looking for anybody. He's going to run out of real estate. Oh, he is hit hard. That'll be a penalty. My goodness, his clock, the parts were taken apart and cleaned.
You know, he bounced right back up.
And his contact may have popped out of his eye. Brian Hand.
It may have been his eye.
Let's take a look.
Man, did he take a shot. There was absolutely no doubt that he was out of bounds.
This is our hurt cam. Kaboom! Oh, hurt me. That was Brian Hand.
Yeah, you don't think some seniors like Brian Hand want to get those last couple of licks in on some quarterbacks before their careers may well be over?
Brian, the white line means the field's done.
But, you know, this has been the difference in Trent Green this year from a year ago. Remember, a year ago he got benched. They thought he was, well, maybe in their words, kind of a mousy quarterback, but he developed. He's come back to be a very strong leader, starting with their bowl game last year. Been a very physical player this season, as you saw right there. And he has had a very good football year for the Hoosiers.
What an exceptional young man. Talking to him last night, we see some numbers on Trent Green. He said it was a big psychological boost for him almost to sit out those 4 games last year as Baylor picks up their 3rd penalty, and there's Dyer, his best friend and backup teammate.
Yeah, and he will signal in a lot of the players. They have a lot of confidence in Chris Dyer's, the coaching staff, and at some point, sometimes he'll help call plays.
Dunbar 7 yards back of Green in the backfield. That gives him a running start. There he goes. He's got a little bit of running room down to the 10. A pickup of 4 on the play for Dunbar as Curtis Hafford is there for the tackle.
You know, Ron, you mentioned something interesting. That, you know, Von Dunbar, who lines up 7 yards in that I formation, you need completely different types of offensive line for Indiana and for Baylor, because Baylor runs that veer. It's a quick hitting thing. In the I formation, you have to have linemen that can lock on to defensive players and sustain their blocks, and particularly with a cutback runner like Von Dunbar, because he can go anywhere. So you have to stay in your blocks a little bit longer.
2nd and 5, a 2 tight end situation now for Indiana. Green running the option, crosses inside the 5-yard line. You know, bringing up a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, again, the option play inside the 10-yard line. And many college football teams will do this. They're I football teams, they're throwing football teams, until they get inside the 10-yard line. Like Notre Dame, for example, and Indiana. They run the option down here because it takes disciplined defense to play against the option, and defense by nature is aggressive inside the 10-yard line.
3rd down and 1. 9:05 left in the first. 2 tight ends again for Indiana. Green will keep it. Easily crosses the 5 and makes his way down to the 3 as Marcus Lowe tries to stop him. Not enough. It'll be 1st and goal for Indiana with 1 second inside of 9 minutes.
You know, Ron, you mentioned that they've had some tough traveling inside the 20-yard line this year, but I'll tell you, in tonight's game, they have had some very productive plays, picking up 1st downs, keeping drives alive inside the 20-yard line. They've thrown the ball well. They've run with some power. They've run outside. They've run options. The sequencing of plays that Indiana has shown this evening has been very imaginative and quite honestly, rather successful.
This is the 11th play on Indiana's drive that started way back on their own 20. Dunbar, no place to go. Now Baylor is excellent against the run. They only gave up 112 yards per game rushing per team. Curtis Hafford on the tackle.
Yeah, but usually when you have, as George Ballou signaling in the plays there, he's the offensive coordinator of Indiana with a man with a headset, and there's Bill Mallory. But Usually when you have a guy who runs for 1,600 yards, you have a lot of 1,600-yard blockers, too. That's
right.
And, you know, Randy Snyder, the right tackle, number 69 for Indiana's. Indiana's had a good year. Sean Harper, the left tackle. This offensive line is pretty solid for the Hoosiers.
Walker behind Green and Dunbar on the fake. Green is going to be hit for a big loss back to the 16-yard line. Frankie Smith, number 37, out of Groesbeck High in Texas.
You know, Frankie Smith may well be the best cover guy in the Southwest Conference, number 37. But this guy can tackle as well. Grant Taft was saying he's one of our best tacklers on defense. And again, when you're playing against an option or a rollout or a bootleg quarterback, you have to be able to cover receivers downfield, but then you have to be able to come up and make plays, and Frankie Smith just did a great job right there.
A loss of 10, 3rd and 14. Now, Indiana went to a wide-open attack to improve their third down conversions. Eddie Thomas, Thomas Lewis, and Scott McGowan all split out for the Hoosiers. It's a draw to Dunbar. He's tripped up.
Boy.
And they'll spot it at about the 15. Robin Jones, the defensive end, got a hand on him. We are in Tucson, Arizona for the 3rd annual Copper Bowl. Arizona Stadium with 7 minutes even remaining to be played in the first half. Indiana struck first, and they lead it 7-0. Along with Craig Sager and Pat Hayden, I'm Ron Thulin.
Wishing you a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
That's right, coming up. And hopefully this game will be over before New Year starts anywhere in the world.
You're absolutely right.
27-yard attempt now for Ireland, or for Bunnell. The hold is good. The kick is up and away, and it is also good. So Scott Bunnell, who is 9 for 10 inside of 40 yards during the regular season, connects on this one. And with 6:36 remaining in the half, Indiana up by 10.
Wednesday night on TBS, when Richard Pryor's luck runs out.
10 years probation. No!
He's sentenced to hit the road.
Is he the driver or the porter? Looks like a janitor to me.
Man, you can't ask me to fix a bus and go to Washington with a bunch of funky kids.
It's a non-stop, laugh-filled road trip. Cicely Tyson, Richard Pryor. Bustin' Loose. 9 Eastern, Wednesday night on TBS.
No matter how good you feel, you can still benefit from whole grain nutrition. But of these leading cereals, only Wheaties is made with 100% whole grain. So no matter what you're shooting for, better get your whole grain.
I better eat my Wheaties.
Well, during the regular season, Indiana had 17 drives of 70 or more yards. This was an even 70-yard drive. Took them 14 plays in 6:03. It was the field goal by Bunnell. That'd give the Hoosiers a 10-0 lead with 6:36. And inside Indiana's huddle.
That draw is there. We gotta take that out.
I was staying too long inside before coming out.
George Ballou, the offensive coordinator.
Move inside. Just step back out.
We got to get back out now. If he hangs into him, then you get your good move.
Yeah, I understand that. Just come down, step down. Shooting inside behind the ice. Yeah, step down there.
Well, they like the draw play, obviously. Kendrick Bell right on the goal line. He'll try the left side. He's going to be hit hard, just short of the 20-yard line, and Baylor takes over.
And Ron, here is why George Ballou likes the draw play. This should have been a touchdown, but Robin Jones right here comes up. He's the guy that gets a hand on the ankle of Von Dunbar. Otherwise, Von Dunbar scores. This is why George Ballou is just talking about. See, great play there by Robin Jones going around the tackle and making the stop. Otherwise, Dunbar dances into the end zone. So Jones did his job, but Indiana's going to come back and run that draw play again.
Baylor's had the worst field position so far in this football game. Let's see if they go back to banging straight up the middle again. The pitch back to Mims. Oh, my. Hello, everybody. Boy, excellent defense, as we thought. Just a group of non-stars, but Hagan leading the pack. They get after you, and that's exactly what we thought.
Yeah, Mark Hagan was talking to us last night. He's one of these seniors playing in his last game, number 47 in red, saying it's going to be very, very tough to give this game up. He knows this is his last game. He started playing when he was in 3rd grade in Louisiana. Game means an awful lot to him, and he says, hey, I want to go out on a very high note.
His dad, Phil, was a three-year Letterman quarterback in Minnesota, and he asked Mark last night, "Does it hit you that this is your last game?" He said, "No." Joe's got a little bit of time. It is complete up to about the 27-yard line, but the big hit is put on Melvin Bonner, who is the leading receiver for Baylor. Pretty good catch. He had to hear footsteps of Mose Richardson.
Yeah, we have seen some pretty good defense, quite honestly, tonight, particularly by Indiana, but Baylor's had their moments on defense as well. And really, you generally expect to see that in bowl games. You've had an awful lot of time to prepare. The surprising thing to me, though, is how well they've taken away Robert Strait. Look what they've averaged. 3rd and 9 is what they've averaged. You can't have that in a Veer offense.
No way. And they'll give it to Strait for the first down. Barrels his way up to the 31-yard line before Bernard Whittington, number 86, the 6'6", 215-pound junior out of St. Louis, Missouri, with the tackle.
You know, the quick handoff here on 3rd and short is really one of the keys to making this thing happen. That really wasn't a read by J.J. Joe. That was a designated call. Oftentimes, when you're in a short yardage situation, you just give the ball to a guy like Strait, and he'll bowl over 2 or 3 people for a first down.
1st and 10 for Baylor. Miles in motion. Joe loses the handle, and he's going to have to sit on it.
Yeah, he caught it on the hip of Robert Strait that time.
And like the wishbone, that is one of the bad parts of the offense. You got to make sure you pull it out.
Well, you know, I think playing option quarterback is a very difficult thing to do, and J.J. Joe and quarterbacks like him don't get enough credit because you have to make an awful lot of decisions. A drop-back quarterback has 3, 4, maybe 5 seconds to make up his mind. An option quarterback has to make up his time in less than a second. Is he going to give the ball to the fullback or not? And sometimes it's very difficult.
J.J. Joe with a 3.67 grade point average in finance is a smart individual, and he has to be a quick reader. Joe fakes it, has to cut it loose, and that's going to be incomplete. Lee Miles was there, number 1 for Baylor. Joe was directing traffic, and Damon Watts was there for the coverage.
Well, that is a ball J.J. Joe should never ever had thrown. There's that old adage, you never throw late down the middle. You hear that from Pop Warner football on. He's directing traffic down the left side. He wants his receiver to go deep because the out pattern was taken away. And then you never throw this ball late down the middle. Now, this Indiana defense, remember early in the game, Baylor came out throwing out routes that were open, okay? This Indiana defense has taken that away, but Baylor has not come back in their passing game and adjusted to that just yet.
3 wide receivers to the left for Baylor is Joe, straight drop back. Looks in the flat, he has Miles open, crosses the 50 down to the 46-yard line. Boy, he threw that on a rope back. Yeah, 25 yards.
That was a very good throw by J.J. Joe and a patient throw.
He's now 7 of 14 yards for 72 yards. And talk about the fact that Indiana switched from the 5-2 defense to the 4-3 this year. That seems to have helped these players. On that play, it didn't help quite that much. Strait and Mims behind J.J. Joe. Takes the pitch. Down the middle to the tight end, incomplete as Melvin Bonner, split out wide to the right, was open, wanted the interference.
Remember the post pattern we talked about in the first quarter? That was it. That was what they were trying to set up off the play action fake. But Damon Watts, the free safety, was not fooled. He did a terrific job of getting back and not being fooled on the play action fake and taking the easy throw away. But remember, early in the first quarter, we thought they were setting that up. They came back to it, but Watts, the free safety, just did a marvelous job of making sure that J.J. Joe couldn't have the whole middle of the field to lead Melvin Bonner.
2nd down and 10, 3:29 remaining to be played in the half. Indiana by 10. Steve Stutzman now into the lineup for Baylor. Right up the middle, up to the 41-yard line goes Robert Strait, the fullback. John Miller on the hit. We talk about Robert Strait. We've talked a lot about him. This is a young man that had 127, that's not a typo, touchdowns in his high school career. 52 his junior year, and over 8,400 yards in his high school career rushing.
Yeah, and again, he did this in the state of Texas. You know the quality of high school football they play. 46 yards on the ninth for Robert Strait on 8 carries, so he's had a productive first half.
And he walks around with his little can of Copenhagen. Get that snuff. Good Texas running back. Joe, pump face, Tries to go down the sideline. Nobody there for the football. Melvin Bonner stopped as Mike Middleton was on the coverage.
You know, if those corners of Indiana are bumping, running, and taking away the out patterns, you have a couple of options what Baylor can do in both their passing game and their running game. You see how these corners are up here now? They're taking away the out routes, the short routes. Well, there's a couple of things you can do. You can use the tight end down the slot. You see that route is just taken away. Good defensive coverage. You can use a tight end down the middle or run your option and pitch the ball right down that alley where he isn't covering.
Snap a little high. Grantham just gets the kickoff as the rush was on. McGowan calls the fair catch. Baylor's going to be able to stop it, and they don't get it. I don't think anybody saw it, Pat. A 46-yard punt, no return. Baylor had an excellent opportunity, and that has to frustrate Grant Teff. But we have 2:37 remaining in the first half. The Bears trail Indiana by 10.
The airline that spans 10 countries across Asia and the Pacific brings you United's renowned international service nonstop to London's Heathrow Airport from 6 U.S. cities. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
When it comes to making batteries that last, somebody's in high gear. Duracell. Today's Duracell batteries can even outperform the ones we made just a few years back. You can't top the copper top.
You know, this is the punt that went in the end zone, but watch how many Baylor players had an opportunity at this. Ray Matthews was down there, Marcus Lowe. I mean, that's a difference perhaps in giving your defense a chance to keep Indiana down, pinned downside, and getting a score on the board before halftime. They just let it get through them when they shouldn't have.
Well, Loeb had a good shot at it, wasn't able to get it. 1st and 10 on the 20 for Indiana. On the fake, Trent Green throws out to the right flat. It is complete. Another first down to the big tight end, Rod Coleman. Let's go down to Craig Sager on the sideline. Craig?
Well, thank you, Ron. Down 10-0. You may say the odds are against Baylor. However, Grant Teff has succeeded against the odds since he arrived at Baylor 2 decades ago. It's been called the miracle on the Brazos. We'll go to Waco, Texas at halftime. We'll also visit with Dick Steinberg of the Jets on the uncertainty of the NFL draft. Back to Ron Thulin and Pat Hayden.
There is Grant Teff, 20 years, and boy, I tell you, his name's been mentioned with a lot of coaching jobs. We asked him today if it was difficult. He goes, well, I had to consider him, but he likes Baylor. Green again. No pressure by Baylor. Throw it out to the flat. A pickup of about 10 again as Ross Hales comes down with it. Pickup of 11 and another first down for Indiana.
Well, you know, I love to see teams come back with plays that are successful. The play earlier, they threw the ball to the tight end, Rod Coleman. This time they come right back and throw it to their other tight end, Hales, number 88. And again, Trent Green was trying to deliver the ball down the middle. He had second thoughts. He comes back and boom, and throws the ball. Actually, it was Todd Walker, I guess, who made that catch.
Todd Walker, a former tight end. They moved him to fullback, which allowed Rod Coleman to move into the tight end slot for Indiana. Even 2 minutes left in the first half. Green, a long crossfield throw is incomplete. Well, I tell you, he had to throw that ball a long way to get to Thomas Lewis.
Yeah, in college football, with the hash marks where they are, when you throw the out pattern to the wide side, you have got to have a gun arm. Trent Green is a very good intermediate thrower. I mean, he's had some real success this year doing that. Now, Indiana up by 10 points, 1:54 remaining. They have 2 timeouts going here, which I'd like to do. The big play receiver has been Thomas Lewis this year. Get the ball to Lewis or Eddie Thomas, one of those receivers on the move, running away, a crossing pattern, running away from a defender.
Eddie Thomas is number 7. Thomas Lewis is number 8. And Green with the straight drop back is flushed out of the pocket. Has to just pooch it off to Dunbar, who makes his way up to the 44-yard line of Baylor.
Yeah, that's a terrific play, though, by Dunbar and by Trent Green. You know, some guys just have a feel for the game of football. And Vaughn Dunbar is one of those guys. Now, he's in the backfield blocking right now. He is picking up linebackers, helping out. He sees his quarterback in trouble. finds a little open area and makes a nice little catch. He's 29th of the year, but like I said, some guys who are blessed in some ways don't necessarily have a feel for the game. Von Dunbar does.
4 plays, all passes so far in this drive as Thomas and Lewis split out wide to the right. And Green's looking for one of the 2 of them, and he is stripped of the football. It is loose. And it'll belong to Indiana.
Well, I think it was Albert Fontenot.
Fontenot, who almost went to Colorado, and now Indiana calls a timeout. They have 1 timeout remaining, but with 1:16, they do have the football. 10-0 Indiana. We're still in the first half.
What better way to start 1992 than to tell you about Domino's great new 2-pizza deal. It's Domino's double-up deal. 2 medium pizzas each with 1 topping, just $10.99. $10.99?
$10.99.
Domino's makes your pizzas fresh when you call and gets them there in 30 minutes or less. So if you want a lot of great pizza for a little price for you and your whole family, nobody knows like Domino's how you like our double-up deal for just $10.99. How did he do that?
Guys, doesn't get any better than this.
Bob Pullum was wrong, because when a crate of lobsters fell from the sky, it got somewhat better. And when the Swedish bikini team dropped by, it got a little better. And when an old Milwaukee truck showed up, it most certainly got better. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It just doesn't get any better than this.
Watch the right of the screen, number 96 in white, Albert Fontenot. He's the defensive end for Baylor, who causes the fumble there by Trent Green. Green makes the recovery, but it counts as a 10-yard sack. But the thing about Fontenot is he was pretty well blocked there, but he just kind of reached that paw out there to make the to cause the fumble. That's a nice play by Fontenot. Just has that real feel for the game when he gets around the quarterback.
Are you going to hit me again?
Be careful.
You're posting me up. I can't post up Doug Collins, but I can't post you up.
Yeah, that's true. Most people can.
2nd and 20. Now Baylor able to come up with a big play defensively. They had a plus 15 margin of takeaways during the regular season. They need the big defensive effort right now. Green flushed out of the pocket, takes a step up, throws over the middle. It is complete down to the 35-yard line to Scott McGowan, the junior out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Ben Davis High School, a pickup of 18.
Ken, he's got 2 timeouts left. As you see, 56 seconds remaining. The key thing here is I believe it's going to be 3rd and short. He's got to get the first down. Sometimes quarterbacks get so excited about the 2-minute drills, they forget on 3rd down. Make sure you get the first down with the run if you have to.
3rd and 2, the clock is running in the first half. Dunbar, a big hole. He scampers over to the left side. He's down to the 20 and run out of bounds. Down to the 19-yard line goes Von Dunbar. Keith Caldwell pushes him out after a 16-yard pickup.
If Von Dunbar, though, gets a good block by number 1 at the bottom of the screen, Scott McGowan, he scores. Now, he makes some people miss here, but see, McGowan misses his block. That forces Dunbar too far out. A remarkable run there because he should have been tackled after about a 4-yard gain, so he can make people miss. We saw him big runs, tough runs, run over people, run out and outrun people.
He has 76 yards. He came into the game needing 95 to break Anthony Thompson's single-season rushing record at Indiana. Importantly, too, I think it stopped the clock for the Hoosiers. Green back to pass, rifles the ball down to the 5-yard line, and McGowan comes up with the catch at the shoe tops. So Baylor, who gave up only 5 touchdowns in the last 17 quarters coming into the game, is close to giving up their 2nd tonight.
Well, you know, this Indiana team looks like they're having some fun. Oh, yeah. It looks like they're enjoying themselves in a bowl game.
Bill Mallory said our team was down a lot, but we get after it. Green goes for the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Lewis.
Had him, and it was a good throw.
Clifford Ellison on the coverage. Clock stops at 17 seconds.
Well, when you run the fade route and you have this much room, and in college football you do because of where the hash marks are, the wide receiver has an awful lot of territory to fade away from the defender. He had Clifford Ellison, who was injured, wasn't sure he was going to be able to play tonight, but he probably should have caught that ball, Thomas Lewis. But a good call, good touch throw by Trent Green.
We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Indiana said they needed to throw the ball in order to win this evening. They are throwing it and they are running it. as Eddie Thomas splits out wide to the right. 2nd and 5, 17 seconds left in the first half. The draw to Dunbar. He kicks to the left side. Patered, Indiana.
Boy, this guy is for real. Von Dunbar has made virtually every kind of run and a lot of moves tonight.
I'll tell you, number 77, Phil Trenter, the big 6'6", 285-pound senior out of Lorain, Ohio, came up with a really big block for Dunbar.
Yeah, you're right, he did. But remember, making moves in a small area, and then he outruns people. You're right, he did make a nice block. But, boy, I'll tell you, he's given you virtually everything, but he's been tough, too. Tough to bring down.
He's got those happy feet. 80-play drive, 10 plays. Bunnell will try to put a little icing on the cake.
Oh, my.
Almost blocked, but it is good. And with 12 seconds remaining to be played in the first half, Indiana showing a little offensive punch. They lead the Baylor Bears 17-0. Trent Green threw 7 times in that drive, but this was the big play.
Yeah, another night at the Improv here for Von Dunbar, because this play is supposed to go right here. Now, the left tackle does a great job of closing it down. Dunbar comes in here and bounces it outside, which he's done this night. We talked about eyes, vision. It's a feel thing as much as a see thing. And you're right, Phil Trenter, number 77, picks up a big block, and he has the speed, the burst, to be able to take advantage of that.
And we see Von Dunbar only 14 yards away from a new Indiana single-season rushing record. And he's only 1 game away from entering the National Football League and becoming first national Dunbar.
Yeah, you know what I've liked about Dunbar, though, is he's earned his yards at Indiana. I mean, he was highly recruited, actually had to go to JC, came to Indiana, redshirted for a year behind Anthony Thompson, played on the scout team, and then had the 1,200-yard season last year. Again, this is a guy that's worked awfully hard. He comes to practice every day. He plays every Saturday. He plays hard every play, and he deserves everything he's gotten this year.
He was a JUCO All-American at Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. And he went to Indiana because he said while he was at junior college, the Indiana coaches stayed with him. A little pooch kick by Bunnell. It'll be short, picked up at about the 28-yard line, crossing over to the 32-yard line for Baylor with just 8 seconds left. Bradford Lewis, a fullback.
Well, it's going to be a tough halftime, I think, for Grant Taft. He's down by 17 points. The Veer is traditionally not a great comeback from behind team, although Craig Sager was saying he's had teams that have been very good at coming from behind, but it's going to be up to that man, J.J. Joe, to come up with some big plays, I think, in the passing game the second half for Baylor to get back into it.
Well, Chuck Reedy, the offensive coordinator, has to come up with some big plan for the second half. Just a reminder, coming up at halftime is our Aflac College halftime report with Craig Sager, and a miracle on the Brazos, as Frank Fallon, longtime Baylor radio announcer, would call it. Joe steps up in the pocket, and he is going to be dropped for a loss. That is the second sack as Matt Bamba, number 99, blows in for the sack. As we end the second quarter to the cheers of the Indiana Hoosiers. They will go to the locker room after the first half of play at the Copper Bowl, leading the Bears of Baylor 17-0. Bill Mallory is with Craig Sager now.
Well, thank you, Ron. 17-0, an excellent first half. You're having fun out here.
Well, yeah, but we got 30 minutes to play, and we stunk against Purdue, so we better have him pull that trick this time around.
What about the fact they came out passing so much? Did that surprise you?
Well, no, that's what we wanted to do, mix it up and, again, be consistent. There's some passes we should have had, some passes we should have caught there, and we had a couple breakdowns on protection. Again, we shouldn't have that. So, again, there's things we've got to do better in the second half, but I'm pleased to get off to a good start.
Up 17-0, but you still have a chance to yell them at halftime.
Oh, yeah, we'll be in there getting with it.
Okay, 17-0 the score at the halftime. The Aflac College halftime report will be coming up in a moment as we continue our coverage of the Copper Bowl from Tucson, Arizona.
For the start of the third quarter, with Indiana leading Baylor 17-0, and Craig Sager is with Grant Taft of Baylor now.
Well, thank you, Ron. That first half was all Indiana. The Hoosiers get the ball to start the second half. A chance for your defense to show us what they have.
Well, right now is the time to rise to the occasion. If we're going to play football, we're going to have to do it right now in the third quarter. We're going to have to do it on this series. Third quarter, first series is essential. And to stop them, we got to make a big play. We haven't made any big plays. They've made the big plays, and that's the difference in the football game. They've made them, and we hadn't. And you can't win a football game not making big plays, and we didn't make a one.
Maybe you're on the
for the start of the third quarter with Indiana leading Baylor 17-0, and Craig Sager is with Grant Taff of Baylor now.
Well, thank you, Ron. That first half was all Indiana. The Hoosiers get the ball to start the second half. A chance for your defense to show us what they have.
Well, right now is the time to rise to the occasion. If we're going to play football, we're going to have to do it right now in the third quarter. We're going to have to do it on this series. Third quarter, first series is essential. And to stop them, we got to make a big play. We haven't made any big plays. They've made the big plays, and that's the difference in the football game. They've made them, and we hadn't. And you can't win a football game not making big plays, and we didn't make a one.
Maybe you're on the verge of getting one soon.
Well, we're going to give it our best.
Okay, thanks for being with us. Back to you, Ron.
We can't say enough about Grant Taff, how personable and how helpful he has been the last couple of days as we look at the halftime statistics from the first 30 minutes of play at the Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. And how about, first of all, the possession for Baylor?
Boy, you see an awful lot of punts there. The fake field goal was when they really had the biggest chance of scoring. Couldn't execute the fake punt, which should have been a touchdown, quite honestly. But as Grant said, and there's the stats, it starts on defense. Now, it hasn't been an overwhelming statistical day for Indiana over Baylor, but they played on their 2 touchdown drives. They played with a short field, and their defense set it up. And J.J. Joe's defense, the Baylor defense, is going to have to set it up here. You know, the one halftime stat we didn't have there was the number of slices of pizza, the Domino's pizza, that you had at halftime. I think you may have set an all-time record. That's 6. So there's still a little pepperoni there on the
I've got it. I tell you what, I was hoping you'd keep going with those stats because I wasn't done yet.
Man, yeah, you're never finished.
That's right. Well, that halftime show was 30 minutes or less in honor of Domino's Pizza, as J.J. Joe, 6 of 16 for 81 yards. In that first half, and second half action is underway. And it'll be Thomas Lewis taking it right at the goal line. Ends up the middle. Cuts over to the 25, and he is going to be swarmed over at the 27-yard line. A 27-yard return.
Ronnie, here is where Santana Dotson, Marcus Slowe, Robin Jones, Lachey Maston, the defensive players for Baylor have to make this happen. Because they have to force the turnover, you know, a negative plays. You know, big plays don't have to be 50-yard touchdown passes that Grant Tack was talking about. Big plays come on defense by shutting them out 3 and out, forcing them to punt after 3 plays, causing that fumble, picking the ball off.
And Trent Green, as we mentioned, set a Indiana single-season passing record in that first half, and he'll go to the air to begin the second. Over the middle, it is a good defensive effort by Baylor. Pass knocked down at about the 37-yard line, intended for Rod Coleman. And a Baylor player is down, and it is Brian Hand, who also got a piece of the ball.
Yeah, that was good coverage by Brian Hand. I got to tell you, he was covering the tight end all the way across the field. Now, Brian Hand is an outside linebacker, and he looks like a strong safety because he's tall and he's lanky. He's 6'4", 196 pounds, the kind of guy you look at and you say, let's run at him. But people have been shut out most of this year on Brian Hand, particularly in the passing game, because he can cover tight ends all over the field as he did there.
Brian Hand will trot off the field. He looks in pretty good shape. Second down and 10. 27-yard line for Indiana. 14:45 remaining to be played in the third quarter. Thomas split out wide to the right. Quick cadence to Dunbar. He's got a lot of open field across the 35, across the 40 to the 47, but we have a penalty flag down. He gets to the outside fast.
He gave you his best Heisman move, quite honestly. There you see the straight arm. We didn't see the straight arm in the first half. We saw everything else.
And I think the penalty, it is holding against Indiana.
Again, what Von Dunbar does is make a lot at a very little. You see the straight arm there? And Dotson, number 77 for Baylor, he's the guy we said it has to start it off on this drive. He's their key defender. good job of blocking up front early by Newton, number 60, the guard, and then Dunbar just runs right through the arm tackle of Dotson.
That's the first Indiana penalty, bet.
Yeah, they're a well-coached team. Bill Mallory has done a very good job. We talked about the 4 tough losses on the road. Remember, he recruits in the state of Indiana, which really has about 4 million people. So he has to go to Illinois and Ohio, recruit some players like that. He says, hey, the high school football in Indiana is very, very good, and I think I can win with the guys I have.
He was emphatic saying that, too. He was very emphatic saying about Indiana football players. Well, you go back to your main man, and the turf goes from underneath them at the 17-yard line. And Lee Bruder was there for the partial stop, loss of a yard. That brings up a 3rd down and 21. Vaughn Dunbar, 100 yards, 10 of 11 games this year. And Santana Dotson, haven't heard much from him, probably because he's getting double teamed again.
Yeah, well, clearly the offensive game plan for George Ballou, he's the offensive coordinator for Indiana, is make sure that Santana Dotson is not going to stop us. They're using 2 men. Somebody else has to respond to this Baylor defense.
Green back to pass. A lot of time. Great protection, and he throws it off into the Baylor bench. Incomplete. Scott McGowan, the intended receiver. And that'll force Indiana into a punting situation. Now you're Grant Teaff. You push him back because of the penalty. Yeah. You're going to get good field position. However, Indiana is punting with the wind.
Yeah, well, but your defense did the job.
Exactly.
You know, your defense did the job. Now he's got 10 men up at the line. He may, you know, come after him. Maybe the special teams can come up with a play. They feel like they can block a punt.
DeJulio averaged 35 yards a punt. Only had 1 block during the season, and he's able to get a line drive away. Frankie Smith fields it over his head at the 28. Oh, he is up and it looked like his own guy at the 39-yard line. Troy Newton is there.
It was Ray Matthews, one of the real best special teams player for Baylor, that really upended him.
56-yard punt, an 11-yard return. Baylor takes over, 1st and 10. Ball on their own 40. First half possessions for Baylor.
Well, we looked at that a little bit earlier, and it's not pretty. It's rather ugly, quite honestly. And the defense, though, I mean, the difference, I think, in the game and the score has been that Indiana's defense has set up 2 touchdowns, whereas the Baylor defense, really for the first time tonight, has given their offense a reasonable field position to do something with.
Joe fakes the option, goes for the big bomb, and it'll be knocked down, incomplete as Mose Richardson, intended for Melvin Bonner, and Richardson got a hand on it. Another look at it.
That's a score if J.J. Joe can get the ball to the inside, because Bonner had the defensive back Richardson beaten. You see how he had to slow down? He had him in perfect shape. He had him to his outside shoulder. He's got the whole middle of the field to work because the free safety is up on the on a play action. And all J.J. Joe has to do is lead him a little bit more over the middle, and that's a big play for Melvin Bonner.
6 passes on 1st down for the Baylor Bears. They've only completed 1. Busted up the middle with Straight as he crosses the 40 down to about the 43-yard line. Now, at halftime, we heard Bill Mallory said, well, yeah, it's all great, but at Purdue, we stunk. To mention Purdue, the fact that Indiana was up 24-6 in that ball game, and they only won 24-2, so that's what Bill was making mention of.
You know, the glass is half empty, I guess. His team played, I thought, played awfully well.
Have you ever seen a coach, though, say, boy, I tell you, we're really kicking our little heinies,
yeah,
right?
Exactly right. In the second half, it's going to be more of it. I'd love to see a coach be honest and say that once, you know?
I tell you, at 9:30 last night, Bill Mallory had his team walking through plays in the lobby of the hotel, which I thought was interesting.
Hear the game face on.
3rd and 8. On the draw, it is Mims. Has a big hole, crosses the 45 down to the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bears of Baylor, a pickup of 18.
Well, that's the big play that Grant Teaff was talking about to Craig Sager. And it starts with offensive lines. Number 72, Turnbaugh, the left tackle. You see the center and the left guard do a sensational job. It was David Leaks, the right guard, who created part of the hole there. So that's what I mean. Guards and tackles and tight ends cause or create big plays, too, by blocking somebody. And it gives guys like David Mims a chance for big runs.
Is met by everybody on Indiana's front 4. Gets up to the 40-yard line, pick up about a half a yard. Greg Farrell is the first one to make the big hit.
You see number 93 there in red, too. That's Hervin McCormick, sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York. And Bill Mallory thinks that there he is, number 93. Has a chance of being the best defensive lineman that he has ever had. And he's got everything that you look for in defensive line. Clearly the size, 6'4", 260. He can run sideline to sideline. He can rush a passer, and he plays hard every day down.
17-0, 11:35 left in the third. Ball is going to be hit. The ball is loose. Baylor gets a hold of it back to the 46-yard line. What a hit by Larry McDaniel, number 97, the senior out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Again, we said it's a night of seniors, particularly those who are not going to be playing in the National Football League. And Larry McDaniel is one of those seniors, and he just gets off the ball perfectly. It was a nose tackle a year ago in a 34 defense. Now he's playing as a regular tackle, plays with leverage, gets underneath people, scrambles around. And you see the kind of year that he has had.
Covered by David Leaks, making his first start, and it's 3rd and 16, ball on the 46 for the Bears. Joe's going to have to go upstairs with it. Over the middle, almost intercepted by Mark Hagan. It hit the senior right in the hands.
Well, Bill Mallory has called Mark Hagan the hub of our defense.
And Hagan slaps his helmet. He knew he should have had it.
But you see how the way he was just reading the quarterback, Joe? Again, they had him lined up as a middle linebacker there. A year ago, he played inside. Now he's playing outside. But on that particular down, he played as a middle linebacker, just read the eyes of J.J. Joe.
Brentham back to punt again. High snap. Whoa. Here comes Indiana. No penalty. Didn't get a piece of it, and it's going to be a short kick. It's a Baylor bounce down to the 14, down to the 13, down to the 12. Sold.
You do that well. You do that very well.
I've got a future. 33-yard punt, no return. 10:36 remaining to be played in the third quarter. The Hoosiers still have it over Baylor, 17-0.
The 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl is brought to you by Coors Light. The silver bullet is the right beer now.
A lot of cars are taking aim at the imports these days. Well, one American car is very much on target. Buick. Here's their latest hit, the all-new 1992 Skylark. Completely redesigned with more power and advanced features like standard anti-lock brakes. Skylark for 1992. It's got everything you've been looking for, plus the one thing only Buick can offer you. Buick quality.
Get the inside track from today's top coaches and a sneak peek at the USA Today poll on College Coaches Corner, beginning Sunday, 11 Eastern on CNN.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus. So now you can relieve your cold and cough together. Introducing Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
We have 10:36 remaining to be played in the third quarter of the 3rd annual Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl, live from Tucson. And Indiana 17-0. That is what they led at halftime. And they have the football. 1st and 10 on their own 12. They have been very efficient offensively. Trent Green changing the signals at the line. Change the signal, same play. Dunbar is smacked hard at the 10 by Brian Hand. Also Marcus Lowe, number 95, there to say hello to Mr. Dunbar.
You know, Brian Hand has had a pretty productive evening. Remember, we saw him covering the tight end a couple of plays ago, knocking a ball away from a pretty well-thrown pass. And there on 1st down, the run, he goes up and stuffs the run. So he's been able to play well on 3rd downs and passing situations in the running downs, too.
Last 2 carries, Vaughn Dunbar has picked up losses. We're going to try him again. How about 3 in a row? Able to pick up a couple of yards on the play. 9:55 remaining to be played in the third quarter, and we are live at Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona for the Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. Right now, Indiana leads 17-0, along with Craig Sager and Pat Hayden. I'm Ron Thulin. Glad to be with us this New Year's Eve night as we're set to bring in 1992, and it is going to be an exciting one on Turner Broadcasting.
Well, you know, I think I expected this to be a closer football game, quite honestly. And as we've talked about, the difference to me has been Indiana's defense really setting the table for Vaughn Dunbar and Trent Green.
Green back to pass.
Boy, was that a throw.
At the 20, he throws it on a rope, complete to Eddie Beatty. Beatty is driven back, but they'll put it up to the 20, and it'll be short of the first down. Boy, he did. He had a little mustard on that.
Yeah, that was a major league throw by Trent Green. But the defense, the Baylor defense now twice, 2 series, they forced the punt by Indiana. They came after the punter last time, and they've got 10 men up on the line again.
Frankie Smith is back. He is back at about the 43-yard line as DeJulio goes back. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for Baylor. And they back off. And he boots the daylights out of this. Down to the 31-yard line. Smith looking for some running room, shaking and baking, and no place to go. 49-yard punt, a 4-yard return. 8:30 remaining in the third. Indiana still leads it 17-zip. We'll be back.
Morning breath.
As soon as I have my coffee, it's all gone.
Whether you admit it or not, it's a problem.
Okay, I have morning breath, but it doesn't bother anyone.
Don't be so sure.
Mine's not so bad.
Morning breath's not as bad as you think. It's worse. So get Scope. Its 2 powerful ingredients kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Was my morning breath really that bad?
There's no denying morning breath, so save your breath with Scope.
What better way to start 1992 than to tell you about Domino's great new 2-pizza deal? It's Domino's double-up deal. 2 medium pizzas each with 1 topping, just $10.99. $10.99? $10.99. Domino's makes your pizzas fresh when you call and gets them there in 30 minutes or less. So if you want a lot of great pizza for a little price for you and your whole family, nobody knows like Domino's how you like our double-up deal for just $10.99. How did he do that?
17-0 is our score. 8:30 remaining to be played in the third quarter, and Pat Hayden has a lot of weight with Ned Simon, our producer, whose wife's expecting a baby any minute, because they want to show me, first of all, with my glasses on, and second of all, eating my third piece of pizza.
This is nice. Now, did you order it with the anchovies?
No.
Well, they look like eyebrows. You didn't want those, yeah.
I'm from Pittsburgh. We just have pepperoni.
Nice. Third piece, and you got a little bit right in between your teeth there, too. Well done on the pepperoni.
My wife has always wanted me to wear my glasses on the air, but she's probably asleep back in Atlanta already. 17-0, 8:30 remaining to be played in the third, and on 1st and 10 on the 35, John Henry gets the call. And coming up next on TBS after tonight's ball game, the movie Cooley High, starring Garrett Morris, a personal friend of Pat Hayden. That's coming up next on TBS. So spend your New Year's Eve watching Cooley High on TBS.
Well, you have big plans for 1992 or the rest of New Year's Eve, I assume, Ron, right?
Get ready for Detroit and Dallas NBA action on Friday in Dallas. Start getting back to work.
You really know how to have a good time.
I'm a party animal. J.J. Jones pitching it back to Mims. Finds a little bit of running room. Crosses the 40 down to the 42-yard line.
Okay, again, Baylor down 17 points. 7:44 remaining in the third quarter here. They need that big play. They need someone to step forward. Grant Taft needs one of his wide receivers. That's Lee Miles there, who's been a big play guy for them this year. Or it's David Mims on the outside with a play. We haven't seen J.J. Joe, the option quarterback, really keep the ball much and get himself into a little bit of a scene. But somebody has to step forward. On this drive, I believe, that Baylor's going to have a chance.
I'm not sure Baylor was really ever shut down in the regular season. They're 5 of 11 on third down conversions right now, and Baylor has to call a timeout because if not, they were going to be penalized with 7:11 remaining in the third quarter, 17-0. Indiana on top as the Indiana defense has played extremely well. Now let's take a look at tonight's Silver Bullet scoreboard. A couple of bowl game scores for you in the California Raisin Bowl. Bowling Green a winner by 7.
Well, Fresno State, again, has had an awfully good year.
Alabama State a winner over North Carolina A&T in the Heritage Bowl. It's a lot of offensive yards for Alabama State. Big win for Georgia Tech and Bobby Ross.
Now, Bobby Ross announced today he's on his way to the San Diego Chargers.
No surprise, and boy, Georgia Tech's going to get going after some big names there. Alabama, big win over Colorado. What a job Gene Stallings has done. Our good friend Gene at Alabama. And Georgia, Ray Goff ends the season with a win over Arkansas, 24-15 in the Independence Bowl. Mississippi State crushed by Air Force. I don't think Jackie Sherrill expected that. And the Oklahoma Sooners, a game you saw right here on TBS, the Gator Bowl. Big winners over Virginia, 48-14. Virginia, some thought were favoring the game. And Ty Detmer's last pass as a collegian's an interception. as BYU and Iowa tie it up at 13. And Tulsa, a winner over San Diego State, 28-17. A big night for running back Ron Jackson. And this afternoon in the John Hancock Bowl, UCLA by a field goal. Terry Donahue, 8 straight bowl victories. Congratulations to Terry. Here comes a little trick play. Mims looking to throw back to Joe, and he is going to be smothered back at the 34-yard line. Mark Hagan is there again for the tackle, a loss of 7. And Pat, you and I saw that coming. That did not develop the way it was drawn up.
Well, this has been a very disciplined Indiana defense. Now watch. Indiana, one of the guys on the left part of the screen sensed that there was going to be a throwback. I mean, he just took that away. Good penetration. And again, one more time, it's Mark Hagan cleaning up. The left hand of the screen, somebody's not fooled over there. It looks like a pass all the way. Should have made it look a little bit more like a run. Good penetration there by Beauchamp, and Hagan, as he's done most of this evening, kind of cleaning up. And the guy that Mallory has thought so highly of, Mark Hagan, over the years.
And Mims is down on the field. He is hurt as Baylor faces a 4th down and 11. 6:47 left to be played in the third. Indiana has control of the game right now. They lead at 17-0. We'll be back.
They came to this country from everywhere else. And now, the airline that's uniting the world is ready to take you back. United, the airline whose service made it #1 across the Pacific, takes you across the Atlantic to cities throughout Europe, including service to London's Heathrow. United to Europe. Come see what we're made of. Come fly the friendly skies.
See where he's from there. David Mims out of Dangerfield High School in Texas. The junior is able to walk off the field holding his left or right wrist, and I think he thought it was a late hit, Pat.
Yes, and some of the Baylor coaches were complaining that too. You'll see Hagan, number 47, get a shot at him, and then 97 late in the picture. McDaniel, I don't know. I mean, I think you could probably call it either way, but we certainly hope that David Mims is able to get back in the ball game.
The numbers on Mims so far this evening, and back to Pat. Punt again, it is Kent Bretham and Scott McGowan back to receive. He's punting into the wind, stands on his own 20. Here comes Indiana again. Boy, they are extremely close to blocking one. It is a short kick. Little backspin on it, stopped at the 35-yard line, where Indiana starts off again after the 30-yard punt.
You know, but that punt block, again, shows you how disciplined and well-coached I think this Indiana team is. You're right. They have come after Brentham, the punter, every time. But watch how, if they can't get it, how many times have you seen guys run into the punter knowing they can't get it? These guys back off, these Indiana rushers. Again, I think it's just a sign of guys who are very disciplined, well coached. You see everybody is avoiding the punter. That's a good punt rush.
Green, a great fake. He's going for all the money, and it is incomplete, just off the fingertips of Thomas Lewis. He almost had that.
What a wonderful fake, though.
Oh, he had everybody.
Green. Absolutely.
There's a few things laying on the field that he faked guys out of.
Yeah, and he let this ball hump. I mean, that is a very, very good throw. He had the whole center of the field to work with, threw it away from the defender. Thomas Lewis adjusted to it, nearly makes the catch there. Started with good offensive line protection, the ball he should have had. He's caught a lot of those this year, has Thomas Lewis. Added really the deep threat to the Indiana passing game.
Frankie Smith was on the coverage, 2nd and 10, ball on the 35. Dunbar hit hard, and he will be dropped at about the 34-yard line. Let's go down to the field and our Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, thank you, Ron. What happened to David Nims is he hurt his elbow. What happens to the nerve on it? They're working on him right now. They hopefully will have him back in the game. But another change has been made. They've taken the freshman out of the ball game. David Leaks, they feel that he's been getting beat repeatedly, so they moved Greg Bellamy over to the tackle position, and Matt Gant is now starting as well. So they've kind of been disappointed in the job they've been seeing from David Leaks.
Well, that's when you talk about the mouth is dry, the eyes are glazed over, and the young man's had some problems, but he's going to be a good one for the Bears. Nobody there to get the Trent Green pass, and that'll force Indiana into a 4th down and 11 situation, just over 5:35 left.
Give this Baylor team some credit. This defensive team have done everything they've asked of them. You know, Von Dunbar in the second half, 4 carries, -1 yards. They forced 3 punts. It's the offense now that has to come up with a play.
Jim Julio back to punt. Frankie Smith. I'll get it out. It's that pizza. You eat pizza, you can't talk Italian. Nice spiral. That'll drive Smith all the way back to the 15-yard line, back to the 13, and he'll start from there. Up to the 22-yard line, a 52-yard punt, 8 on the return, 5:27 left to be played in the third. Indiana still on top, 17-0.
Thursday night, the Suns come into Atlanta red hot, but Chambers and company have to deal with some hungry Hawks. The Suns and the Hawks, live at 7:35 Eastern Thursday night on TBS.
Pringles corn crisps, more corn for your taste, less fat for your waist.
More fresh roasted whole kernel corn.
And you know what? They've got a lot less fat than the leading corn chip. Look, you can even see the difference.
More and less Pringles corn crisps, more corn for your taste, less fat for your waist. Pringles corn crisps.
More corn, less fat.
From nickel arcades to luxurious theaters, Moguls transformed an industry into an empire. Call now to order your copy of MGM When the Lion Roars, also available in bookstores everywhere from Turner Publishing.
Let's take a look at our Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl game summary. First of all, Indiana went on top 7-0 as Trent Green took it in from a yard out. And then Scott Bunnell connected on a 27-yard field goal, and it was 10-0 at intermission, or at near the end of the second quarter. Then Von Dunbar's 5-yard run made it 17-0. That is where we are now, as Robert Strait up to the 26-yard line.
How many times when you watch veer or option teams do you see a big play on the perimeter of the defense? And in college football, a lot of that happens. Yeah. Baylor 25 points, only 26 a game, 0 right now.
And it was a difference between their 5-game win streak and the games that they lost.
You're right.
Major difference. Strait 11 carries, 54 yards right now. That really hasn't opened things up. It is Kendrick Bell, number 28. The 5'9" freshman out of Tyler, Texas.
You know, Ron, the option play is designed to be able to get, you know, speed people on the corner of the defense, the perimeter of the defense, where in college football, unlike professional football, that's where the plays happen. That's where the big gainers come, quite honestly, because of where the hash marks are. But the Indiana defense has taken that away all evening, and Baylor hasn't had any big plays on the outside.
Well, Scott Barron is their big fiery leader for the offensive line for the Baylor Bears. Has played 4 years together. They need to get something going right now. As Strait crosses the 30-yard line, close to the first down, is going to be short.
And he's going to have to go for it, I believe.
I think we have a penalty on the play.
Oh.
And it was a late one.
May have been a face mask.
And we're going to see.
There it is.
Referee Dick Burleson, the officials tonight from the SEC.
Had a shot at the late face mask on Robert Strait.
There it is. It was kind of like Randy White putting his thumb in your, or your thumb in his ear.
Yeah. That's awfully accurate, I was.
15-yard face mask penalty against the defense, first down.
Well, the umpire tonight is James Mosteller, and we'd like to say best of luck to James, because after 24 years of officiating following tonight's game, he is retiring from wearing the stripes, and we wish him nothing but the best.
at the Baylor 46-yard line.
Well, that jersey tells you a little bit about what Baylor has done tonight.
1st and 10, ball on the 46. Joe in the flat. He has Lee Miles at the 40 up to the 38-yard line. A pickup of 16 on the play. Mose Richardson on the tackle.
Now that was a well-designed and well-thrown ball by J.J. Joe. And watch Lee Miles as he comes back to the ball. Now he's running the hook route, which is good for a first down. But if you get a guy like Lee Miles on a crossing route where he's running and gets the ball on the move in full stride, you have a chance of maybe a touchdown.
Lee Miles at 5'6", 158 pounds is the fastest Baylor Bear from point to point. Joe's going to have to put it up again, and he airs it out the far side, and it is complete once again down to the 32-yard line to Reggie Miller. A pickup of 7.
You know, we talked about Bill Mallory having to recruit in a lot of states. Grant Taff, on the other hand, recruits only in Texas. All of his players come from the state of Texas. He built a beautiful facility down there. It's helping him to recruit some of the top players in the state. And he said that's what we have to get to be able to really compete and compete for a national championship. We need to get more of the top 10 players in Texas.
Those facilities will help now. Pitch back to Mims. He's got some running room in the first down. Crosses the 15. And they'll mark it at about the 18-yard line. A first down for the Bears. And with 2:58 left in the third quarter, they are beginning to make some move as Watson Hagan there for the hit.
Yeah, and just like Indiana, the defense, Baylor's defense set it up for Grant Taff. The defense, remember, forced 3 punts in this half by Indiana. This is the first time the offense has been able to do something with it. And they've had some nice mix. They've had a couple of, that was an option play on the outside. They've run Robert straight inside, and they threw the one pass to Lee Miles.
Mims 8 carries, 45 yards. Kendrick Bell into the lineup. Mims will take a breather. Man in motion. They hand it up the straight, right up the middle, down to the 15-yard line. John Miller is there for the hit. 8 on the carry. 13 carries for 64 yards now for Big Robert Strait.
Well, this is a critical drive here for Baylor, because if they can get it in, the fourth quarter could be very, very interesting, because Grant Taff says we're a fourth quarter team. We can keep it close. We will wear you down because we're going to keep running at you.
Well, the first and third quarters for Baylor usually have been the biggest, and they have been the worst for Indiana. This time Strait takes it down to the 10-yard line, and Jim Summerall, with the help of John Miller, make the hit.
Well, Craig Sager reported on the changes in the offensive line that Grant Taff did. Obviously, they are working. Big block by the left tackle, Adam Arroyo, who's played well tonight. And again, Robert Strait, the thing about him is he's going to bounce off some people. He's hard to tackle high. You've got to get him down low, and you've got to get some help.
1st and 10 Baylor. The ball is on the 10. Up the middle. Larry McDaniel finally corralling Strait down about the 6-yard line.
Number 20, Robert Strait. Again, 4 yards. Brought down by number 45, Greg Farrell. And number 13, Mike Middleton.
Grant Taff, as you see with the headphones on, he's listening to his coaches, Cotton Davidson, up in the booth. He'll then send in the play, not signal it in with one of his players.
What about Chuck Reedy, the offensive coordinator, who's been there 2 years, came from Clemson University. In 1989, Baylor only had 1,000 yards rushing. This year, they had over 2,600 yards rushing in the new Veer offense. Pitch back, it is Kendrick Bell. Big hit. Baylor needs to score on this series, no question about it, but Bell was stacked up by Larry McDaniel and Mike Middleton, bringing up a 3rd and 6 situation.
Somebody came up from the defensive backfield, I think. Maybe it was Middleton that really put the hit on Mims. No, it was a middle linebacker, Paul Williams, number 29. Now that's how you make a tackle if you're a middle linebacker. He played like a middle linebacker on that one.
And now a timeout's going to have to be called, as Indiana had 12 men on the field. So that'll be Indiana's first timeout used in the quarter, with an even 1 minute left to be played in the third.
Well, 3rd and 5. Now, you figure Grant Taff's got to figure, hey, I'm going to maybe look at 2 plays here. They had some success with an option play, and I'd like to see it come back right here with the option to the wide side of the field.
Well, the NBA action will continue on our sister station, TNT, on Friday night. Speaking of Hoosiers, we're going to bring you another one on Friday night.
Who was speaking of Hoosiers?
I was. Oh. Isaiah Thomas, 40 stitches and all, taking on one of the best shooting guards in the NBA, a K-State grad, Rolando Blackman. Detroit and Dallas. Join Doug Collins and myself for that ball game, 8 o'clock Eastern time on TNT.
Who do you like in the NBA? Who have you seen thus far early in the NBA season?
I think the Chicago Bull cheerleaders have been the best.
That's very strong. Okay.
Yeah, close second. I have to say the Laker girls, obviously.
Okay, all right.
Oh, you mean the teams?
Team.
Oh, well, you have to go with the Bulls. Playing extremely well right now. Boy, John Paxson took a forearm from Chuck
I
Person.
saw that last night. Man.
That hurt, but I like them. And I tell you what, Cleveland, coming up on January 14th on TNT, they're a good basketball team right now.
Okay, wide side of the field, I think, is where Baylor wants to go. Remember, the ball's on the left hash, an option play out to the wide side of the field.
Henry and Kendrick Bell, the setbacks. They can get us first down by some 6 inches. Joe goes for the end zone. Incomplete penalty. That'll be interference called on Indiana's Mose Richardson. The pass intended for Melvin Bonner. He had the step.
There's pretty good coverage there by Richardson, but Bonner, who is 6'3". Now, this is supposed to be like in basketball, a jump ball. When you have a 6'3" wide receiver, not a bad call. Get it up, give him a chance, good throw.
Ooh. We need to look at that again.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on that one. Looked like pretty good coverage here by Richardson. He's
right
pushing,
there.
Yeah, he's pushing with the left hand, I think, is where they got him, because at the end of the play, Richardson did a nice job. And earlier, when the ball was coming down, he got the left hand and pushed Bonner. And that's a big break for Baylor, who's got to punch it in.
First down automatically on the 2-yard line for the Baylor Bears with 55 seconds remaining to be played. In the third quarter, Straight is the fullback. He gets the ball. He fumbles into the end zone. Indiana has it. Oh, my goodness. Against Texas Tech, Baylor fumbled on the 1-yard line. It was returned 99 yards. It cost them the win, and this time Damon Watts comes up with the Robert Straight fumble. That's the first turnover of the game.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Texas Tech ball game.
My goodness, and that man has to be frustrated. A 2-game bowl win streak, had his second chance to put it in. They can't capitalize.
And once again, the defense. Watch the penetration. There's the nose tackle. That time Williams is down to the nose. A good lick on the ball carrier Straight, and a lot of red jerseys around the ball. But goal line defense is about penetration. It's about desire. You got that. It was an uneven exchange between J.J. Joe and Robert Straight. That's a big play.
On the sideline there during the replay, Grant Taft was telling Robert Straight, keep your hands on the ball like this man does. Dunbar up to the 24-yard line, a pickup of 4 before Curtis Hafford and Michael McFarland put the hurt on.
You know, that's another interesting point about Dunbar. He does not fumble the ball much.
That's right.
Here's a guy that takes a lot of hits. 31 carries a game he's averaging. 1,600 or almost 1,700 yards this year, but doesn't turn the ball over.
He is an all-purpose runner as the clock ticks down. Dunbar, 85 yards, 5 for 3 yards this half. And he is up to about the 29-yard line, and that should be the last play of the third quarter. Third down and about 1 yard to go is the final 6 seconds of the third quarter tick down. We have played 45 minutes in Tucson, Arizona. Baylor has had their chances, haven't capitalized, and they find themselves down by 17.
Because you believe these trucks shouldn't carry a spare tire.
It's a right beer now.
Because up here, crisp-tasting beer just comes naturally.
It's a right beer now.
Because when the whole gang gets together, there's no room for filling up. So reach for the Silver Bullet, the beer that won't weigh you down.
It's a right beer now.
When it comes to making batteries that last, somebody's in high gear. Today's Duracell batteries can even outperform the ones we made just a few years back. You can't top the Copper Top.
Christmas, marked by Santas, holly, and the welcome presence of Alka-Seltzer. Fast relief of heartburn with headache, accompanied by jingling bellies. Alka-Seltzer, the other holiday tradition.
The dives, the kicks, the slam dunks, the greatest plays of the day. See them weeknights on CNN Sports tonight with Fred Hickman and Nick Charles. And now, see them whenever you want. The greatest plays of the day on video cassette and available for a limited time only at the Athlete's Foot. Get to a participating store to get yours. The greatest plays of the day on one tape in one place. The Athlete's Foot. Only $8.99 with any purchase.
back at Arizona Stadium, and that is a beautiful cactus that lights the way to our beautiful hotel, the Westin La Paloma, and never seen anybody decorate that before.
It's a long way.
Long
got
way.
there, yeah. That's
right.
Saguaro cactus, as a matter of fact.
I'm very impressed. You talked about the defense that Baylor had in that third quarter. 15 total yards for Iowa. No first downs. And right now, Baylor has all the numbers. First downs, total yards. But the big number they don't have, points. Fumble. Green tries to find the handle. Finally does, falling out at about the 26-yard line. And once again, the Baylor defense able to hold, courtesy of the Trent Green bobble.
Well, we've seen some exchange problems from Baylor. That one, I don't know whether either Trent Green was pulling it out too early or the center, Rod Carey, was a short snap. One or the other. Indiana got a very good break, or lucky break for Green to be able to recover it.
John Martin, the deep snapper, and Jim DiGiulio is back. Got to go up a little bit for that one. Into the wind. That is an excellent kick. Smith back to the 27, finds a hole, crosses the 40, hit hard before going down at the 42. A 51-yard punt into the wind on 19 return.
Hitting going on.
A couple of seconds into the fourth and final quarter. Baylor needs to get something going offensively. They trail by 17.
The 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember, Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
Buick introduces the new Supercharged Ultra for 1992. With 20% more power. 205 horsepower to be exact. Ultra truly ranks among the world's finest luxury performance sedans. The new 1992 Supercharged Ultra from Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
Baylor scored 21 points in the fourth and final quarter against Texas, and they need every bit of that now. Trailing by 17. Joe fakes the handoff. He's getting pressure from behind, and he'll be sacked by Greg Farrell. The fourth sack on J.J. Joe this evening.
Well, I'll tell you, Greg Farrell was a linebacker. They moved to defensive end. Indiana has two good, quick outside pass rushers in Greg Farrell and Charles Beauchamp. Farrell just got on the corner very, very quickly, and J.J. Joe had absolutely no chance. But Farrell has done a good job of getting upfield quickly and then taking the proper angle to be able to get to the quarterback.
It's a loss of 9. Farrell, 3 straight years, he's led Indiana in tackles. The handoff to Mims, a little bit of running room as he crosses the 35. And Mark Hagan had the hit, number 47. What a great young man he is. He's 3 back surgeries, and people thought he was a little bit crazy for playing football, but boy, he has a love for this game.
Well, you know, you have the 3 back surgeries. You know it's your last game. He talked about it. And I think you have a greater appreciation for the game, realizing after that first back surgery, he thought maybe he would never play the game again. And he is passionate about this game. We talked about him playing since he's been in 3rd grade. He loves football.
And he's an academic award for Indiana as J.J. Joe getting pressure again, forced out of the pocket, completes the pass to number 83, Melvin Bonner. And we have a penalty flag on the play, and you would have to think that is holding considering the scrambling by J.J. Joe. Let's take a look and see what the flag is all about.
Ignore the flag.
We'll do just that. Thank you for telling us that. But Hagan, who's majoring in marketing, wants to go into sports marketing, said, listen, I know I can't pass an NFL physical. I just want to go ahead and get on with my career, go to a little graduate school.
Yeah. He really has his head screwed on straight. Oh. He's got a very interesting perspective about football, playing his last game, life. A real strong presence about Mark Hagan.
He looks like Craig James, former SMU running back. 1st and 10, ball on the 42. Baylor on the move again. course, they fumbled the last possession on the 2. J.J. Joe throws in the flat. Incomplete, intended for Reggie Miller. We speak of Hagan. He's got his whole family here for his final collegiate game, and Craig Sager is with him now.
Well, thank you, Ron. An adjustment, no doubt, for Mark Hageman. But how about the family that's been following him for 15 years? Father Phil, his mother Candy, and his sister Kelly. It's going to be tough on you when the cheering stops.
Well, I think it'll probably be tougher on me than it will for Mark. It's been a great career here at Indiana for him.
My mother never wanted to see me play football. How about you? Are you going to be glad that he's going to be hanging up the spikes?
Oh, I've enjoyed it, though. I mean, I hate to see him hurt all the time, and so I'm sorry to see it end, but I think his body needs a rest.
No doubt the defense is doing their job tonight, and who knows, maybe you can go down to LSU and watch your daughter do her band concerts. But the defense's story so far tonight, Mark Hagan, of course, leading that group, has the big turnover right here. Ron?
Well, John Miller, the senior out of Massillon, Ohio, who played for Washington High School, comes up with it. And in true fashion, Candy Hagan waited until the interception was over to finish her sentence.
Yeah, she's going to take our job.
Like
very good timing. But, we have seen this a couple of times tonight from John Miller. It just exceptionally good timing, whether it's running down a play from the backside, leaping at the right moment to knock the play away, and that time picking the ball off.
Second Baylor turnover, none for Indiana, which is a big story in this ball game, as Dunbar bowls his way over the 42-yard line.
Craig Sager makes an interesting point looking at Phil Hagan and Mark's father. A lot of parents get very wrapped up in these seniors. We talked about them being it's their last game, and these are big moments for parents as well, following their kids through junior high and high school and then collegiately, and they know just as much as anybody else it's their last game, and it's been a wonderful time for them as well.
Dunbar needs just 3 yards now to break Anthony Thompson's record. Green forced out of the pocket. Has a little bit of running room. He's got some speed over the 50 down to the 45-yard line. Goes Trent Green, brought down by Keith Caldwell.
I really like the way Trent Green is playing.
We've got a penalty, too.
Really like the way it may have been a face mask. But Trent Green was all smiles last night, very calm and collected and very comfortable about today's game, felt very prepared, fooling around with the backup quarterback, Chris Dyer. And he has played pretty doggone well.
First down of the half, and the penalty is going to go against Indiana.
So they'll have to wait for that.
That's interesting. That's right. And you talk about Dyer and Trent Green. It is amazing that a man that you compete against every day and you were replaced by last year for 4 football games, and these two guys are very, very close friends. He says, listen, sometimes the coaches don't get the signals right. I got to look over the sideline, and Dyer's got to give me the signals.
Chris straightens him out. There he is. Chris will be back next year. Again, what college football is about. Some a walk-on is Chris Dyer. Played real well last year in replacing Trent Green.
There we see Chris and the numbers on him from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, the junior. Penalty against Indiana. That'll nullify the play.
And again,
backup
guys like Chris Dyer, I think, were important for this Indiana team. He could have pouted about not getting the starting job, but didn't. And I think just by the nature of that, his attitude, I think, made this Indiana team a better football team.
Second down and 10, 11:45 left in the game. 17-0. Indiana on top. Green goes to the air once again, wide open, completes the pass. Oh, there goes Scott McGowan. Finally hog-tied down at about the 28-yard line. And for a young man whose name on the back of his jersey is misspelled, that has to hurt you. The confidence is there as he hauls it down for a 31-yard gain.
You're right. The trainer's going to be upset. But look at the top of the screen, the pattern by McGowan. He's just going to run this square. He's up the top. He's going to run the square out, and then he makes the nice move after the catch. But a perfect throw by Trent Green on one hash mark. Takes a strong arm to do that. And then a scamper down the sidelines. Good play.
McGowan out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Dunbar looking for those 3 yards, and he is going to lose a couple instead. Curtis Hafford and Robin Jones. And Robin Jones has been extremely quiet. We talked to Randy Schneider about blocking Robin Jones. He says, I got to really hold on to this guy so he doesn't get away. And he's been doing a very good job because it's probably Jones only his second tackle.
Yeah, well, Robin Jones had a big year in the Southwest Conference. And as Grant Taft says about Robin, he's got a lot of want to. He wants to make plays, and he usually does.
-5 yards for Dunbar on that. He's down to 87 yards, so he needs 8 more yards to break Anthony Thompson's record. And here he comes. He may get it on this play. Dunbar crosses the 25, and they're going to mark it right on the 25-yard line as Robin Jones, as we talk about him, gets the tackle. He does now have 95 yards. So for the moment, Vaughn Dunbar has tied Anthony Thompson's rushing record at Indiana.
And quite an efficient runner is Vaughn Dunbar. No wasted motion. He runs with a purpose. Every move seems to set up something else that he's going to either do on that particular run or something else. I mean, I've been incredibly impressed with Vaughn Dunbar. Has a lot more speed in person than he does on film. I mean, he's got a great burst.
1,783 yards this year for Vaughn Dunbar. And he has all-purpose yards. He's a great kickoff returner. Nobody kicks to him anymore. Green, wide open, completes the pass to Eddie Thomas down to the 16-yard line. And Trent Green, I wasn't sure about his arm coming into the game, but the pickup of 13 once again was on a rope.
You know, some guys catch the ball, others snatch it. Well, Eddie Thomas snatches the ball. You know, and this helps a quarterback when a receiver goes up and catches the ball like this, rather than waiting for it to come into his body. They prevent interceptions. And that's a beautiful catch there by Eddie Thomas.
Eddie Thomas, the psychology major at Indiana. 1st and 10, ball on the 16, 9:35 left to be played in the ball game. Baylor's defense shut down Indiana in the 3rd quarter, but the Hoosiers coming back here in the 4th. Dunbar over the right side, and there's a flag on the play as Dunbar slides his way down to the 10. Albert Fontenot with the tackle. Tracy Miller also got a hand on him. Let's see what the flag is all about as we're at the 9:17 mark of the 4th, and it is against Indiana, so we'll bring it back. And that brings Bill Mallory up off the bench, and he's onto the field along with some of his coaches wanting to find out exactly what's happening. He knows that Baylor does have that big play potential. They have 4 plays of 70 yards or better during the regular season. They can strike and strike quickly.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
I'll tell you though, they have not had the guys open in the passing game on the big plays thus far tonight, and give that Indiana defense some credit, particularly the free safety, Damon Watts, excuse me, who has really not been fooled on play action, has stayed in deep center field and taken away some deep passes.
Santana Dotson is taking a rest now for the Baylor defense as Green goes back up to the air to Thomas. Gets down about the 17-yard line on the 1st down and 20 play as Frankie Smith is there to greet him.
You like what you see in Trent Green. He's playing with a smile on his face, which you love to see in any sport. So many of us take it too seriously, but Trent Green was, as we said, smiling last night, smiling now, and he has a lot to smile about.
See, there's little bison on the back of their helmet for good hits, good plays, and a long time ago, the Indiana Hoosiers used to have a bison as a mascot, and everybody in Indiana says, I'm not sure why we had a bison as a mascot.
I was just going to ask you that.
I didn't know. I couldn't find anybody who really knew why. Dunbar, the right side. Watch him go now. The engines are on as he bulls his way down to the 7-yard line. Boy, Michael McFarland needed to tie his legs with a rope because Dunbar just keeps on churning. Pickup of 10. He has 105 yards for the game.
Really unusual combination of speed and power. I mean, first you're going to see the burst right there, the way he cuts, and then you're going to see the power. As soon as he's going to get hit, you see how he just lowers the shoulder, picks up another 4 yards. I mean, that is a good combination. And the Indianapolis Colts, who have the first 2 picks in the draft, I think are going to have to take a good long look at Vaughn Dunbar.
The obvious joke there is poor guy, but I won't say that, okay? I won't say that. Santana Dotson again off to the side. Trent Green gets nailed at about the 6-yard line by Lee Bruder from Klein, Texas, the 6'1" junior.
Lee Bruder.
Breaking. Be ready to press.
A gain of 1 on the play. Timeout for a measure.
Should have a 1st down. They're going to measure it off with 7:28 left to be played in the ball game. 17-0. It has been all Indiana. A lot of bowl games, of course, coming up tomorrow as you plop in front of the television set with the sodas and the chips. And it'll be a 1st down for Indiana. And Trent Green, as he is leading the troops right now at this point of the ball game. Bill Mallory 1-3 in bowls in the last 4 here at Indiana.
And, you know, a lot of coaches have different goals for bowl games. And Bill Mallory was saying last night, clearly they want to win this game, but he also used it as like a second spring practice for his young players, doing double days. They hit a lot back before they came out here to Arizona, and his young players really benefited from the bowl experience.
No place to go. Dunbar down at the 7-yard line. Second down. And goal to go with 7 minutes left to be played in the contest.
Talking about all those bowl games tomorrow, I think the Rose Bowl is probably the most marquee value. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game.
Slightly. Has nothing to do with the fact that you are busting out of here right after the game to catch a flight back to L.A., does it?
Well, I got the Rose Parade in the morning.
Well, you got Ryan sitting here, and we've run out of food here in the press box, so Ryan's got to get home to find something else to eat, I'm sure. Down to the 4-yard line. Indiana knocking on the door again as Santana Dotson comes up with the tackle, and we haven't said his name very much tonight. Brian Hand there to help out.
Well, he has had a lot of red jerseys.
Oh, yes.
In his defense, Santana Dotson has had at least 2 guys on him most of this evening. But the disappointing thing, I think some of the other people around him didn't rally too well. Right. If he's sucking up that many blocks, the linebackers probably should have made a lot more plays.
Well, Baylor's offense was so potent. I think we're all surprised. Of course, the fumble and the real big turn in that first quarter when they faked the field goal, had a wide open play, didn't get it. Haven't been able to score. Here comes Green on the bootleg. Touchdown, Indiana. Green, who had 11 rushing touchdowns in the regular season, picks up a couple of more this evening.
And did he get a good block by Scott McGowan? They may have misspelled his name on his jersey. You see the E-N there. It's A-N. But Scott McGowan threw a great block by Trent Green. Watch up here. Now, here's the play action fake, of course, and he's going to come around. But watch the block at the top of the screen that really set up the touchdown. Yeah, when you get your wide receivers to block like this, a lot of good things can happen. Tell you, Trent Green, too, ran that one in like a fullback.
He did. Green is 6'4", 215, so he's a big kid. And Bunnell adds the extra point with 5:55 left to be played in the ball game. The Hoosiers of Indiana have a shutout on their hands. They lead the Bears of Baylor at the Copper Bowl 24-0.
Wednesday night, Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier, styling and profiling all the way to the bank.
Get down, get down.
Let's do it again. 11 Eastern, Wednesday night on TBS.
So? Can't believe he broke it at the company picnic.
Incredible. Our employee health plan covers him, right?
Not deductibles or co-payments.
So he has to lay out his own money.
Gaps in your health plan can be costly. Aflac can help. Aflac is a leader in supplemental insurance with 35 years of dependable service. Today, employees of over 80,000 companies count on Aflac for the peace of mind to get on with life.
Any ideas?
Yeah, Aflac.
Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
Thursday night, the Suns come into Atlanta red hot, but Chambers and company have to deal with some hungry Hawks. The Suns and the Hawks, live at 7:35 Eastern, Thursday night on TBS.
There's our score as Trent Green adds another 6. Indiana goes up 24-0. 5:55 left to be played in the contest. Another time-consuming drive, Pat.
Yeah, very methodical on offense. You know, they've tried a couple big plays out of the passing game, and they never got anything real far downfield, but very patient offensive team. They used Dunbar. They used their tight end. Scott McGowan had a big catch, a big block on the touchdown run. So I'd say they've been a very efficient offensive football team tonight.
Well, the last time Baylor was shut out as the kick goes into the end zone, they'll begin 1st and 20, was 1990 when they played in Lincoln, Nebraska. They lost 13-0. And Pat, they had a fumble on the 1-yard line in that ballgame.
Yeah, and as we mentioned at Texas Tech this year as well.
How about the bowl matchups? The Orange Bowl. Who do you like? We got a couple of ties for number 1.
You know, everybody likes Miami so much, and that's what scares me. You know, Nebraska's come into this game, the number 1 ranked team, so many times and not being able to get over the hump. You know, that's going to be an interesting matchup, I think, there. But the big one is the Rose Bowl, Washington and Michigan. I'm a West Coast guy, a Pac-10 guy, so I'll have to pick Washington,
boy,
I guess.
a little allegiance there, huh? Indiana players are really hoping for Michigan on that one. J. Joe's pass will fall incomplete in the hands of Reggie Miller. Now, Indiana's last shutout was a 31-0 game to Michigan State. This year is the 4th game.
Sugar Bowl, good matchup there, Ron. Florida, Shane Matthews, the quarterback for Florida, has been injured, had an arthroscopic knee surgery, and that's still not certain if and how well he'll be able to play. But I think if he does play, Notre Dame will have a tough time with that passing attack of Florida. And the Penn State-Tennessee game just up the road here from
I like that bowl. Joe runs out of the pocket, finally dumps it off, and it'll be incomplete. And once again, Indiana with really the no-name big defense keep coming at you as Paul Williams really putting the pressure on. And this is quite a redemption game for Indiana. They really felt, as you mentioned at the top of the show, that this was Bill Mallory's best season in 8 years. Had the talent. They were expecting a lot of big things, but that Michigan game, a controversial game, got Bill Mallory suspended, but they felt that really hurt this team.
Well, you see that graphic here. Average yards to go on 3rd down, 8.9 yards. That has been the difference in this football game. Their team needs to be in 3rd and 2.
Right. 3rd and 10. Sort of like the wishbone team. You don't want to get in that type of offense. Pass will be complete to Mims. He is stopped at the 25, well short of the 1st down. We've talked to both coaches about a possible playoff. Do they like it? And both of them very emphatically said no, keep the Bulls. Although Grant Taft had an interesting concept he would like to see happen.
Yeah, he'd like to see, after all the bowl games are over, choose the top 2 teams, and it'd be by some coach's mechanism that would choose the 2 teams most deserving to play in a national championship. I actually don't disagree. I disagree with both these guys. I would love to see a national championship game, and I think all the reasons for not having one can be rebutted.
Well, Ken Breatham had to go up high as he knocks away his 6th punt. Taken at the 40 by McGowan. Has some running room up to the 47-yard line. Goes Scott McGowan. 34-yard punt, 8 on the return. 4:58 left to be played in the ball game. Indiana leading Baylor 24-0. We'll be back in a moment.
On the 3rd Sunday in August, this place turns from a hard-working ranch town into a hard-riding rodeo town. And folks like us take it on the chin, in our backs, and about everywhere else. That's why most of us here rely on Tylenol. With all the choices Doc Hall has, he gives us the same thing he takes himself.
From small-town doctors to big city hospitals, Tylenol's the pain reliever America counts on.
Hang on, Doc!
It's the one hospitals use most.
Nothing is our score. Indiana on top, and Bill Mallory lets some of the men who have run the scout team this year and have really put their licks in and lifted the weights along with the starters, getting them a little playing time in a bowl. And boy, I tell you, that has to be a thrill for these young men.
Hey, you don't realize it. I mean, I played at Southern Cal on 2 national championship teams, but it's the backup guys that really make you a good football team.
Well, we talked about Dyer. He is in the ball game right now, as is Brett Law. And Law strung out to the near sideline. He's run out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. Brian Hand is there for the stop.
Because it is guys like Brett Law and Chris Dyer that give you the look, the picture of the opposing team that helps you prepare from week to week. And if you have a successful year, it usually means your scout teams, your backups, your walk-ons, all those guys are giving you the right picture to help that. And that's what they call it, a team, to help your team be a much better team on Saturdays.
Chris Dyer, the 6'2", 195-pound junior out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. 2nd and 5. The handoff to Law, the big hole over the left side, and Law able to get down to the 43-yard line. Talked about Vaughn Dunbar, and he is with our Craig Sager right now. Craig?
Well, thank you, Ron. A great collegiate career coming to a close here tonight. Congratulations on a great game here this evening, Vaughn.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The victory was real sweet, especially being a senior. It's great.
From here, you go to the Hula Bowl, correct?
Yes, I do. Heading out to Hawaii in about 4 days. So I'm really looking forward to that, too.
Looking back to your collegiate career, what's going to stand out, you think, your biggest moment?
I would have to say receiving the MVP award from my fellow teammates. You know, that's real important to me, you know, that my teammates accepted me like that and, you know, thought well enough for me to give me that award. That, you know, that was my highlight of my career here.
We talked to Dick Steinberg of the Jets at halftime about evaluating talent for the draft. Your statistics are there, everything's there. He said the one thing you never know is how hungry a player is. How hungry are you to play in the pros, and where do you think you'll go?
As far as destination, I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to give them all wherever I end up. But yes, I'm very hungry.
We speculated you'd go in maybe one or two, top 2 picks. What do you think?
Hey, that'd be great. That would be great. You know, I tried to give them all, and you know, with the help of these guys, and I was fortunate, you know, to I was fortunate enough to end up with a great season this year. And also, I'd like to say that I'm a true believer that a running back is only as good as his lineman allows him to be. So I credit my lineman for most of this.
Eric Dickerson said that with the Indianapolis Colts. They didn't like his offensive line. What about going to a team like the Colts?
Like I said, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give them 110% wherever I go.
Congratulations. Great game tonight.
All right, Von Dunbar, the former JUCO All-American, went to Indiana, broke Anthony Thompson's single-season rushing record this evening, had 265 yards in a game versus Missouri earlier this year. Is Chris Dyer calling the signals, and we have flags from all different countries going on the play.
You know, we've talked about it a couple times tonight, Ron, and it's a wonderful night for Von Dunbar, but it really isn't his night. It's the Mark Hagan's night. Those seniors who realize now with 4 minutes left in their collegiate careers.
Dead ball foul.
Remember, they're just like you and I, who grew up in our own backyards, whatever our hometowns were, playing catch with our dads, and the games you used to get in your backyard, loving the game, the passion. And football is one of those games you can't play in later life. You know, you retire from some other sports, you can play softball, you can play basketball in the backyard, but not football. So these guys, a lot of these guys, are really going to miss this.
First down and 15, nearing the 4-minute mark of the fourth and final quarter. Dyer, the handoff to Law with the right side. And boy, he's showing a little bit of speed, and the heir apparent to the spot of Von Dunbar goes down to the 18-yard line. And I don't think my MVP would have to be Trent Green. I think he's played extremely well, and he's with Craig Sager right now.
Well, thank you, Ron. He is right here. We talked to Von Dunbar. His career coming to a close. You have 1 more year left. You have to be happy with this team's playing tonight.
Yeah, I'm real happy with the way things are going. Defense has done a good job getting us a shutout. I just feel so happy for the seniors.
The defense has played spectacularly, but, of course, the offense, very efficient. Long drives, mixing up the plays, good blocking.
Right. They did an excellent job. Probably the only letdown was the third quarter. You know, we didn't move the ball very well at all in that third quarter, but we're in 24-0. I'm just ecstatic.
You came so close this year. You lost 4 games to Big Ten teams, also Notre Dame on the road, a couple of turns here, there. You can be playing in a major bowl. Right. What about next year?
We're real excited about next year. Of course, we don't open up with as hard an opener as Notre Dame, but we're real excited about the season. We have a lot of good young players, and you know, hopefully the program go everywhere and up.
Who's going to win, Michigan or Washington?
I'm a big Michigan fan. I'm going to take them. They took that victory away from us in Ann Arbor, so I'm going to have to back them.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ron?
All right, for Green tonight, 11 of 21 for 165 yards. That was a 13-yard pickup by Law, bringing the ball down to the 6-yard line. First and goal for Indiana.
Not a bad heir apparent to Von Dunbar's Fred Law. Here's a guy who broke all the high school records in Indiana for running back. He had a very productive high school career in the state of Indiana. Looks a bit awkward out there, but he's one of those guys who keeps moving the chains, picking up 5-6 yards.
He has 4 carries for 40 yards so far this evening. Dyer will be hammered at the 5-yard line. I think as far as losing bowl games, Grant Taff, who shows a great deal of class no matter what he does on the field, had one of the most hysterical stories about when he lost the Cotton Bowl to Bear Bryant. He said, geez, I'm sitting there, my head's in my hands, I'm feeling terrible. Old Bear leaned over, and that Alabama drawl of his said, that's okay, son. At one point, I had the record for most losses in a bowl game.
Yeah, you hope you have a chance maybe to lose a few more.
Lose a few more, yeah. Why couldn't you have added to that tonight, Bear? Not bad for Grant Taff, a small-town boy from Snyder, Texas.
You know, Grant was also talking about his only Bowl experience when he was a high school player, a college player at San Angelo College in Texas, played both ways, actually played for 5 years. In those days, you could do that.
Started every game in 5 years.
Started every game. Last play of the game, he gets knocked out. He's unconscious, spends the night in the hospital, didn't wake up till the next day. And it's funny because the coach had said no bed check tonight. You go out and have a good time, and he missed the whole thing because he spent the night in the hospital.
The Oleander Bowl in Galveston, Texas, when Galveston had more than just bingo parlors on the strip. 3rd and goal, ball on the 6-yard line for Indiana. 1:55 left to be played. They lead at 24-0. The pitch back to Law, and Baylor's defense is tight on this one. And we've got a penalty on the play. What a job Bill Mallory and his staff has done preparing for this bowl game. He said, you know, we came in like spring practice. We wanted to meet with all the players, make sure everybody had their heads on straight.
Well, you know, too, Bill Mallory said, as excited as or happy as I am with this team, played hard, like the senior class, really looking forward to next year's team. I think he's got a real nucleus of a good football team next year. He's got Michigan at home next year. And again, that's kind of his benchmark, I think, of his season next year. Be able to get over the hump, to really compete for the Big Ten crown and perhaps even more, is a win over Michigan at home.
That would, because you get a lot of prestige in with recruits. I think a school like Indiana, you have great football in your state, but you still have to beat the names.
Well, your players really start believing too, Ron. I mean, that's what he was saying. Hey, we've got some guys here who are good players, but they haven't had that big win yet to really make them feel like they belong.
Well, Grant Taft was 3-3 in bowl games coming into tonight. He will drop to 3-4. Bill Mallory, on the other hand, will go to 2-3 in bowl games while at Indiana.
Offsides, defense, half the distance to the goal.
So the offsides penalty gives Indiana a 4th down and 4 yards to go from the goal line. And I don't think Indiana is trying to run up the score here, folks. I think what they're trying to do is run out the clock.
Yeah.
At least take some time off and not punch the field goal in. 1:15 left to be played in the contest. On the option, it is Dyer. Goes down to about the 2.5-yard line, and Baylor will take over. 1:07 left to be played. And just a reminder, if you want to stay up late, watch a little movie on TBS. Coming your way, Garrett Morris and Cooley High. That'll come up immediately following our contest tonight. 1:07 left to be played in the 1991 Copper Bowl. And it is all Indiana, 24-0. We'll be back for the final 67 seconds in a moment.
We asked California artist Ed Lister to give us his impressions of the all-new 1992 Buick Skylark. To capture the lyrical lines, the liquid flow, the dash of flair, and above all, the quality that makes this the Buick of its class. Did he capture Skylark? Decide for yourself. But one thing's for certain. Skylark is the Buick that will change a lot of impressions about Buick.
Get the inside track from today's top coaches and a sneak peek at the USA Today poll on College Coaches Corner, beginning Sunday, 11 Eastern on CNN.
Christmas, marked by Santas, holly, and the welcome presence of Alka-Seltzer. Fast relief of heartburn with headache, accompanied by jingling bellies. Alka-Seltzer, the other holiday tradition.
24-0 Indiana on their way to a victory tonight in the Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. And for Grant Taft and the Baylor Bears, it has been a while since they've been shut out. 21 games, as we mentioned, dating back to the first game of 1990 against Nebraska. As J.J. Joe will take a seat on the sideline, Steve Needham in at quarterback. Joe, not a very good night, just 10 of 26 for 131 yards. And I think, Pat, it still is surprising that Baylor came out throwing the football and not sticking to what we thought would be their game plan, the banging in the fullback, which sets up everything else.
Well, you're right. And so they ended up in that 3rd and 9 most of the evening.
Well, believe it or not, Baylor called a timeout. 57 seconds left. And again, we'll be back.
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now.
Today, Siemens makes telephone switches that handle 1 million calls in a single hour, carry voice, text, and data on a single phone line. And at 23 research sites in America, the people of Siemens are developing technologies to connect us all to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
Samson, darling, that old loincloth does nothing for you.
It's comfortable, Delilah. What should I wear?
Gird those lovely loins in something temptingly different.
Ribbed whites?
From Fruit of the Loom.
Hey, incredible! This ribbed cotton is more than comfortable.
It moves with you.
Yeah, and the cut's trimmer.
I see, my mighty one.
They feel great!
For extra comfort and style, pick Fruit of the Loom ribbed whites.
Sam, I told you to get a haircut.
24-0 is our score. 57 seconds remaining in that young man's career in an Indiana uniform. Mark Hagan, 9 tackles this evening. And what a way to go out. Being congratulated by the coaching staff. He says, I don't think it's going to hit me until after the football game. And that's going to be tough. Needham looking for a little bit of running room. And as it has been all night, the Indiana defense closes quickly down at the 8-yard line. And the offensive MVP for the ball game, it's going to be Von Dunbar. 28 rushes, 106 yards, a touchdown. I tell you what, that was close. I really thought it should have been Trent Green, but the media here at the Copper Bowl go with Von Dunbar, the offensive MVP, and Mark Hagan, the defensive MVP. Baylor doesn't want to go home with timeouts left in their pocket. They called their final one.
This royal throne of kings, this happy breed of men, this earth of majesty, this little world.
The airline that's uniting the world, United, brings you non-stop service from 6 U.S. cities to London's Heathrow and the land of poets.
This blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England.
Come fly the friendly skies.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus to relieve your cold and cough at the same time. New Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine in the purple box. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget, just 1 dose of Pepto-Bismol can help make yours a Happy New Year.
Well, watch Troy Newton here, the senior guard, number 60. Good technique here on pointing the Gatorade over the head coach. He's right here. And good, you got to sneak up behind him, right, properly time it, make sure. And then you boom! Got him to look. I mean, that's well done. That's well done.
And Bill Mallory, he is probably freezing because temperatures are in the high 30s, low 40s right now, but it is a happy cold.
And there is Troy, one of those seniors we've talked about several times tonight.
Baylor trying to get everybody into the football game, which is a nice move by Grant Taft as we're down to the final 40 seconds of play as everybody gets in. Kendrick Bell, number 28. The freshman running back out of Tyler, Texas. And there was one good running back out of Tyler, Texas, I remember. I think, what was that guy's name? Played for Texas?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell.
Yeah,
that's
great
right.
running Tyler backs. Rose.
You know, Grant Taft was talking about, hey, yeah, Von Dunbar's a great running back that we got to face tonight, but he's faced some big ones. And that's one. Earl Campbell, right. Eric Dickerson, Craig James at SMU.
Beautiful East Texas. Hopefully I'll be fishing there in 2 days in beautiful Scroggins, Texas. Bet you don't know where that is. Right by Mount Vernon. On the run, Baylor trying to avoid a shutout out at the 43-yard line. It is Kendrick Bell.
I'm not sure where Mount Vernon is.
Tomadown Meredith. East Texas. Jim Summerall on the tackle as we're down to the final 10 seconds of the 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. We'd like to thank both staffs, the Baylor coaching staff, Maxie Parrish, the SID, Sports Information Director at Baylor, Kit Klingerhofer, the SID in Indiana, Bill Mallory, and everybody associated with the Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl for Pat Hayden and myself, and being so gracious to us the last couple of days. And that'll just about do it. The final 5 seconds. 1991, the bowl season for 91 is complete. The next bowls will be in 1992, and Indiana ends the year on a high note. They beat Baylor. first bowl shutout, also its first for Baylor. The Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl is history. Indiana wins it 24-0.
The 1991 Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl has been brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home. And by Coors Light. The silver bullet is the right beer now. And by Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
You'd rather walk than drive an American car. You think no American car can match the quality of an import. You figure if it isn't foreign, it isn't for you. You wouldn't give an American car the time of day. Well, in case you haven't noticed, times have changed. Introducing the new Skylark. This is the Buick that's going to change a lot of impressions about Buick.
Wouldn't it be great if your blind date, Rachel, turned out to be Rachel Hunter, the international model, and you had a romantic dinner at the beach with beer, really great beer, like Keystone Light, and things went really well. So you had Rachel build you a beach house, because it turned out that Rachel was a great little homemaker. Cold-filtered Keystone and Keystone Light. Bottle beer tastes in a can.
So what's left to do?
Gonna shingle in the roof.
I'll do that in the morning.
Wouldn't that be great?
What better way to start 1992
than to tell you about Domino's great new two-pizza deal. It's Domino's double-up deal. 2 medium pizzas each with 1 topping, just $10.99. $10.99?
$10.99.
Domino's makes your pizzas fresh when you call and gets them there in 30 minutes or less. So if you want a lot of great pizza for a little price for you and your whole family, nobody knows like Domino's how you like our double-up deal for just $10.99. How did he do that?
Big win for the Indiana Hoosiers. They defeat the Baylor Bears tonight in the Copper Bowl. The final again, 24-0. Just a reminder, Atlanta Hawks basketball coming your way Thursday night, 7:35 Eastern Time. The red-hot Phoenix Suns. Kevin Johnson, Jeff Hornacek, and the crew take on the Hawks. Skip Carey and Dick Versace will have all the action. And immediately following our telecast tonight, Garrett Morris and Cooley High bring in the new year on TBS. Executive producer of Turner Sports, Don McGuire, and our producer tonight, Ned Simon, directed by Lonnie Dale. For all of us at Turner Sports, we thank you for being part of our family in 1991. We look forward to being part of yours in 1992 with the NFL, the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks, and of course, the 1992 Olympic Winter Games from Albertville, France. Once again, the final score, Indiana defeats Baylor 24-0 for Pat Hayden and our entire crew in beautiful Tucson, Arizona. I'm Ron Thulin. Happy New Year, everybody, and good night.